across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 97.com/advertise to learn more about how the Fanatic can help you market your products and services.
WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station live from the Comcast Business Studios. 97.5, The Fanatic. Now it's time to... Kincade and Salciunas is on the air.
Today's talk show for your morning drive.
2023. Yes, we're going to bring up the freaking year again. You can't deny that it's happening all over again. The vibes are the exact same.
I've never seen a worse Eagles quarterback performance. This team doesn't almost deserve my anger. It's almost like we are more animated and care more than they do.
Broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Good thing is we're another day closer to another Eagles game. And this time they absolutely should win this football game. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. I'll just say that they will win this football game, Johnny. Good morning.
I like hearing you say that. I like the positivity of it.
I mean, I don't know how positive it is for me just saying they're going to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are that bad at football.
No, it's how about this? It's a step in the right direction. I had to.
It's always good.
I had to do Vegas radio yesterday afternoon, and and it was interesting to chat with them and hear them be chesty, and I laughed. I literally laughed at them.
Well,
I laughed.
I will say this: they are in a situation where they have absolutely nothing to lose.
Well, but I laughed at them
other than draft order,
and I laughed at them saying, "Why the hell would you ever be chesty?
Yeah.
You guys are atrocious, and you're going to learn about it on Sunday." Because they're going to learn about it on Sunday.
Yeah,
they will.
The Eagles will win the football game on Sunday.
Now, and I there's a lot there. There's a lot that went on, and we had some good conversation about it.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Today's a day where we're going to have to look into our souls, or listen to our hearts, or our brains, however you want to communicate with thyself. Because I don't know, like if you're a lead with your brain guy. I don't know if you're a lead with your heart guy. Like Connor's a vibesman. So I do believe you are somebody that leads with your heart more than you would lead with your brain.
Connor, I think, is absolutely a lead with his heart.
Right. Yeah. And I think you're more of a lean with your brain guy because you're logical, John.
I'm too much. Like in some ways, I wish I was more like Connor without going as far as Connor, but I wish I was more like Connor.
So I have a couple of topics for us today where it's going to make us sort of look at ourselves, and we'll pretty much figure out who we are as people throughout the course of the show today, at least when it comes to fandom, right? We also know that there's still people that are the Negadelphians and everything will go wrong. Or there's the opposite where ignore everything. Everything's going to be fine. Things are going to be great. 8-5, don't worry about it. They've lost 3 straight games. Don't worry about it. They'll change it. So I want to start with the topic that we sort of brought up yesterday on the show, Johnny, of what weighs more for people. Or what could weigh more, because they have not officially collapsed just yet. And who knows? They might still win this division. They should.
Whoa. Like, okay, I don't even like how you worded it.
And when they get to the playoffs.
I don't even like how you've just worded that.
And when they get to the playoffs and host a playoff game.
Okay, I like how you worded that. Okay, a little bit better.
They should win their first round playoff matchup. And then we'll go on from there.
That's perfectly worded. We're on the same page.
So what weighs more for people? In the last 3 years, the Eagles have gone to 2 Super Bowls and they won 1. If they collapse to the point where, man, they lose the division, that's one thing. But if they make the playoffs and lose in the first round, like I'm still calling that a collapse. Like I'm not going to be like, it's okay. They won the Super Bowl last year. I'm fine with the first round playoff elimination at home.
At home, it's a collapse.
Like I'm holding them to that standard despite how down I am about this team. Despite how I feel about their chances, if they lose in the first round of the playoffs with this talent and with the start that they had, that's completely egregious.
We are on the same page. So everybody is – Connor, are you with us?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
So we all agree now. No one's backtracking on that.
So in the last 2 years, they've been to 2 Super Bowls. They won the one. There is a legitimate chance that in another 3-year span, there are two collapses. The 10-1 collapse where they lose in the first round of the playoffs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They don't even win their division that year. And this season where they're 8-2 at one point. They have now fallen to 8-5. I don't think it's a lock that they win all of their games the remainder of the year, right?
Well,
so they'll get at least a sixth loss, I would imagine, at some point this season, which means they'll finish 11-6, which is the identical record that the Eagles finished with the year they were 10-1 and had the collapse in 2023. They're still in the playoffs. They'll still play a playoff game, and in this case, they'll host a playoff game.
Okay.
But it's another collapse, in my opinion.
Well, the only thing I would say to that is where I may disagree with you is that that's the same record in the same year that the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl with, that exact same record. So, yes, the regular season record seems like a collapse, but the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you know what I
record.
said the other day? Like, I'm done with pedigree. Like, I'm done with the pedigree of this team because this team is nothing like that team last year. Not even close. Other than the defense being tremendous, I've seen nothing where I go, that's the formula to get back to the Super Bowl on the offensive side.
Okay, and I don't think, again, I don't think you are being
as bad as
unfair
the
there.
Chiefs were offensively that year, John.
The Chiefs were terrible.
You know what I could always say? They got Mahomes.
Okay.
We don't have Patrick
But
Mahomes.
they were, remember, as I did the Christmas story for you without the leg, the Chiefs walked off the field after losing at home on Christmas Day to a terrible Raiders team. They were 9-6, and the local press in Kansas City said, dynasty over, thanks for the memories, coal in the stocking. Their own fan base wrote them off, and they went on to win a Super Bowl. They never lost again. So I'm just saying, when a team has pedigree, hesitate to just shovel the dirt. Just hesitate a little bit.
That dirt's down. They can try to be zombies all they want. That dirt is down.
Wow.
And patted down for me. So yesterday we had Adam Schefter on. And it's interesting because you didn't say, hey, Adam, if they collapse, does somebody get fired? You were just kind of talking about
I left it vague.
Yeah, the status of the Eagles. The Eagles have lost 3 straight games. The 2 games before the losing streak started, yeah, great wins against the Packers and Lions, but the offense looked horrible. So what you could say is that there is a legitimate shot that they've lost the last 5 games if the defense didn't play as elite as they did in those 2 weeks. And so you kind of just opened the door for Schefter to sort of, I guess, speculate a little bit. And this was Adam Schefter talking about what could happen to the Eagles.
I can't answer the specifics because we don't know how it's going to play out. But I feel comfortable in saying that if they were to fail to make the playoffs, if there were losses in there to the Commanders and Raiders that cost them the division title and a playoff spot, I don't know what the fallout would be other than I would be comfortable in saying there would be fallout. What that's going to be, there are weeks to discuss and dissect and figure out, but there would be fallout if they fell short of making the playoffs because of losses to the teams we're talking about.
Now, what level of fallout? We can try to figure out all we want. I'll also say, even if they make the playoffs, but it's 11-6, and they lose right away in round 1, and you realize they had no shot of winning whatever playoff game, much like the Tampa game. We talked ourselves into it, Johnny.
I talked myself into it.
Maybe they can beat Tampa.
But
Bay. Baker's banged up.
I remember saying I thought they were going to win 17-13.
Right.
I remember my prediction that day.
We talked ourselves into it.
Yes, they're going to win 17-13, but I also did say that day that will be their last win of the season.
Right. So
they're not beating anybody else.
What if they go out in round 1 and lose?
Oh, no. If they go out, it is a monumental disgrace if they go out.
So I would imagine there's still, as Adam Schefter says, monumental changes. Now, what is that? I don't think monumental means the quality control coach. I would imagine, OC, if not even above the OC.
See,
I don't know.
See, now, when I went, it's interesting because I went back and listened to the interview again with Adam because very few times does Adam take the cheese. I tried to keep it really vague.
Yeah.
Not vague, but just very open-ended. And then Adam took it much further than I thought he would.
Maybe he's hearing things.
And to me, I took it as quarterback. I really did. When I listened to it, I sensed that it was more about they're going to be really aggressive with the quarterback than the coach, which shocked me.
Hey, what was the big
That's
talking
what I'm
point
thinking.
this week already? We'll talk about it later on the show. The film study shows you the offense looked better. It was just
Right.
the guy that was throwing the football didn't look better.
And later on, we get Jeremy Fowler on, and he'll have some interesting thoughts for us.
So here's my first question today. We got a couple of these sort of topics where you have to peer into your fandom soul or heart or brain, however you lead with your emotions or lead with your decision-making in life. What weighs more for you? 2 Super Bowl appearances, obviously one of them a victory, or potentially 2 collapses? Are you more of a celebrate the highs person, or are you more of a sit and think about the lows person?
Okay, you asked the question. So that tells me you have an answer.
Yes, I'll tell you next.
And I know you've got an answer. I knew we were going to talk about this because we previewed it and I struggled with it on the way home.
All right.
And I have an answer.
All right. Connor, do you have an answer?
Absolutely.
All right.
I wonder if our answer will be the same.
We'll discuss this next. What weighs more for you? 2 Super Bowl appearances or potentially 2 collapses? 610-632-0975. Now, another question in the stare into our heart, soul, mind, however you want to do it. I have a question about Sunday's game. I said something earlier this week, and I wonder how many people feel this way about the Raiders. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
KincadeSalciunas.com.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
All right, what weighs more for you? 2 Super Bowl appearances or 2 collapses? I have multiple topics today where we got to stare into our souls or minds or brain, right? Either you lead with your heart, you lead with your brain, you lead with what you think is right, you lead with what you think is wrong. There's people out there that do that. Text in, call in, 610-632-0975. Now, look, I do have an answer. And believe it or not,
I wonder if we're going to have different answers, though.
believe it or not, the 2 appearances mean more for me. Like, I understand these collapses suck. And somebody listening to the show might be like, are you kidding me, Andrew? You always complain. Well, yeah, because we do this every day. We're live. We're like, a game happened and they sucked in it. So, of course, I'm going to react to a team sucking. But 20 years from now, I'm going to think about the 2 Super Bowls first. Yesterday, I was out in the great Northeast. You know what I was doing.
Yes.
Today is Lithuania Day at daycare. They're doing holidays around the world. So I went out to the great Northeast. There's a market out there called Net Cost, and it has a bunch of European goodies. And so I got some Lithuanian treats. And then I went to a bar down the street, Out of Whack Jack's, that I used to go to all the time. Because I lived.
You were looking forward to stopping in.
I lived out there for a couple of years. And I called my buddy Jack. He was on his lunch break. I was like, dude, guess where I was at? And I told him where I was at. He goes, you're the most nostalgic person I know. He said it. And I was like.
And you are nostalgic.
And I am. And so, yeah, in the moment, I'm pissed at the Eagles. But 10 years from now, what am I going to do? I'd be like, they should have won more. I hate that mindset that a lot of people have with the 07-11 Phillies run. They should have won more. They won. There's a lot of teams that haven't. And there's a lot like this one. This current group of Phillies that we have right now, I'm not going to be nostalgic with this team if they never win a World Series. It's why I sometimes get confused, even though I didn't live through it, the nostalgia for the 93 team, because there is more nostalgia for the 93 team for some people than the 08 team. One team won, one team didn't. I'm a very simple person. I say that to you guys all the time. So to me, 2 appearances mean more.
Here's the crazy part. Connor, you can be the judge. I think I'm much more positive on the Eagles. Like, not much more, but I'm more positive on the Eagles than Andrew is.
Yeah, you still think they're alive, which some of us think is nuts.
But they're dead, yeah.
And
in case.
And my answer on this question is opposite.
No, it's unbelievable.
That's why I can't believe it. Because to me, you're saying what weight, like you said, like what weighs on you more? What are you thinking about more? I'm thinking of it as missed opportunity.
Sure.
Because here's what I know. When Jalen Hurts was at Alabama, and I was down south, I was living SEC football 24/7. I got to watch that Alabama program up close and personal from all that. We were constantly, at Georgia, they're constantly watching it. It was all. When he has competent leadership, he was fantastic. And though he had bumps in the road, which he did, like getting removed in a national championship game that I'm at, he comes back the very next year in an SEC title game that I'm at and plays Superman. I've seen Jalen Hurts with competent leadership 2022, 2024, when he has a great offensive coordinator, just excel. I look at it as, damn, Nick Sirianni, when he's not surrounded by competent people, this organization is letting this roster down.
Sure, but I will say this. The reason why he's not surrounded by competent people is because the competent people have been poached because of the success. Right? Kellen Moore got poached because of the success.
That happened. You know what it does? But here's what I'll say to that. That happens every single year in college football. And every single coach in college football has in their drawer a list of names. And there's the contingency plan, and they go, okay, well, this guy's going to get poached for a head coaching job, so I go to this guy, or this guy.
Right.
It's obvious that the Eagles got caught with their pants down, that Kevin Patullo ended up getting the job, or Howie Roseman again let Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts with the Brian Johnson thing, let them have too much say and trusted the wrong people in letting an incompetent leader take control of the offense.
Which I imagine that's never going to happen again. Now,
well,
Connor,
I never thought it would happen after Brian Johnson.
Connor, what weighs more for you? 2 appearances or potentially 2 collapses? And I want to hear from a lot of people on this at 610-632-0975. And then I have the stare into your heart and soul Raiders question as well. What do you got?
It's easily the 2 appearances. It's not even close.
And
to
it's
the
so
2
funny. You
appearances.
guys are more negative on the Eagles than I am, and it's weird. You
because
both
they're
answer
dead.
differently. And you both, and I don't think they're dead.
This year, they're dead to me. But when you look at the landscape of this franchise, it was not that long ago when nobody in the world believed they'd ever win one. And now this regime, this quarterback, this coach has gone to 2 and won 1, and we've seen them win 2 in the past, 7 or 8 years. And it's just thinking back to 17 and 18, I would trade 1,000,000 collapses to know that we could win 1. And now all of a sudden, because we've won 2, we don't hold the Super Bowl.
The old Sophie's Choice question of would you take 1 Super Bowl for 10 bad years?
No.
So, John, I'll ask you about the Phillies comparison. Are you a they should have won more guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I'm happy that they won.
But no, mainly because of the fact, think of my sports talk radio career.
Right.
I saw 14 division titles.
And one World Series.
And what did I have to hear from fans all the time? You only won 1.
Yeah.
You only won 1. And I watched that. To me, Connor, I think, and I'm going to say this with all due respect, your attitude, and I'm shocked by it, to me is a loser attitude.
Wow.
Like, that's a loser attitude.
We're going to throw hands?
No, I'm not messing with Connor.
Calling us losers?
No, no, it's a loser attitude. I'll tell him why.
All right, we'll check the text line next. Also, I keep on saying the Eagles are going to win Sunday. And I don't say it like, yeah, beat those Raiders. No, they're going to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are the Raiders. How many people have that mindset that if they win on Sunday and it looks good, it's just the Raiders? Because I'm telling you right now, I will say that Monday morning. I'm curious where you guys fall on this. Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. Now, speaking of that upcoming game against the Raiders, I'm going to be hanging out with you at the Philly Sports Strip's True Fan Travel Tailgate before the Birds take on Vegas this Sunday, December 14th. Same awesome tailgate and travel experience that you've loved for years.
It's
going
to
be awesome. For years, that John's loved for years. They are just doing it right every single time. And I love that they're really focusing on their roots this year with the home tailgates. They have been an absolute blast. I've been to 2 so far this year. I crashed John's party. I hosted one earlier this year against the Giants. Now I'm hosting this game against the Raiders.
You brought your dad, which really made the party better.
That made it even better. We're talking all-inclusive food, drinks, live entertainment, special guests, former players, and, of course, a sea of your fellow Birds fans getting pumped before the kickoff. And the best part is just a short walk to the link. You can literally look inside Lincoln Financial Field from where the spot is. I'm going to be hanging out with fans, giving away prizes, getting everyone fired up for game time. Plus, if you don't win tickets on the show this week, you can buy a pair of tickets or a ticket, and every ticket purchase goes to the Eagles Autism Foundation. Hit up PhillySportsTrips.com for tickets. That's PhillySportsTrips.com. The True Fan Travel Tailgate. The only way to pregame with True Fan Travel at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles trying to solve their issues. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are desperately trying to solve the issues that have caused them to drop 3 straight football games. Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday and talked about some actual positives from the game Monday night against the Chargers.
Never want the turnovers, but he did some really good things. I think there's a lot of good things on offense. We were able to move the football against a really good defense. Now, we didn't finish drives, and we turned the ball over, but there was a lot to be encouraged by.
Well, the encouragement would really come from knocking off the Raiders on Sunday, so we'll see if they can do that. Unfortunately, neither Jalen Carter or Lane Johnson returned to practice yesterday, even though it was a walkthrough and the injury report was an estimation. It's a matchup with Las Vegas, 1 p.m. Sunday from Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Flyers are back on the ice tonight as they have their own Vegas matchup. Puck drop against the Golden Knights is at 7 p.m. live from the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sixers are off again tonight, but they'll be back in action tomorrow night. We'll talk to Jeremy Fowler coming up at 8:55 for his latest thoughts, the national perspective on the Birds. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
97.5, the Fanatic on this Thursday morning. Another $50 Wawa gift card to give away at some point during the show today, as it's Happy Wawa Days. Also, I have another pair of passes for the Philly Sports Trips True Fan Travel Tailgate, which is this Sunday against the Raiders. So, our second stare into your heart or soul question. First one, what weighs more, 2 Super Bowl appearances or potentially 2 collapses? It's amazing how negative Connor and I are on this current Eagles team, but we value the 2 appearances more than you do, Johnny.
And it's weird because what I heard from Connor last segment, and Connor, what I didn't like, what I heard from you, was we never thought we'd see 1. I think when I hear that from someone your age, it infuriates me to no end. Because you guys have grown up in the filet mignon era.
Yes.
You have grown up in the surf and turf Eagles era. You have never lived in a bad Eagles era.
That's nice.
I have lived through. Your father has lived. Well, your dad really didn't because he was serving our country. He was a ballsy man who actually defended our flag on foreign soil. But like the guys who grew up here, we grew up in the bad years, the lean years. We grew up in bologna sandwiches and on white bread. And to me, you guys have never lived through lean years. The last thing I want to hear from anybody, especially young people, is we never thought we'd win 1. I'm like, no. When you win and you show you can win and you've got a roster that's built for success, as I've said, and I'll say it again, I waited my whole life for this roster, this team, this general manager, this kind of star power. I want to sustain. I demand they sustain. They should sustain. And in fact, I would tell you that every single team in NFL history that has had this kind of setup has sustained excellence. For some reason, the Eagles are in EKG whenever they get to a Super Bowl.
It's crazy.
And to me, it pisses me off that they can't sustain. So I understand what you're saying, but to me, it's a loser mentality to be like, well, it sort of sounds like, be happy. Be happy. We won 1. Be happy. We won 2. I was fat and happy, and I was around 30 pounds heavier when they won the first one. Not today, dude. That's
Good.
why I'm leaner.
I'm glad,
and I'm not putting up with it.
I'm glad that you're holding them to
Right.
it, and that's why I'm so pissed off watching.
But
them
I can't
play.
believe it that we have different answers on this.
Because
question.
I know 10 years from now, I'm going to look back at this era like, damn, that was great.
I think I'll be softer if the era sucks 10 years from now.
Right, which it could. We don't know.
Oh, no, how about this?
Know.
I can almost guarantee that it's going to, because you're going to draft in a worse position. You're going to be drafting at the back end of the first round. You're not going to have these things, and it's going to fall off.
Now, what about the Raiders? Stare into your heart question. I'm telling you now, if the Eagles beat the Raiders and, like, the offense looks good, I might come away with some, like, all right, so some of the things they did Monday night against the Chargers, they built off of, and that's great. But ultimately, it looked great because they played the Raiders. That's going to be how I feel Monday morning. Now, look, if they look bad, that's a whole other conversation. But
that's where I think you are being completely unfair.
No, I understand. And I did not like when people did that earlier this year against the Giants.
Like, I don't think you can.
But the thing is, John, everybody that said it was just the Giants, that we tried saying, come on, at least they did it. They're all right. They won. All those people that said it was just the Giants were spot on. The Eagles' offense has sucked since that game.
It has.
So I can't, like anybody that said that, you're right. I have enough information to say they can't do certain things against a lot of quality teams. I have enough information. And if they beat the Raiders as 11.5-point favorites, so be it.
I would tell you that the people who said, well, it's just the Giants or whatever, I would tell you that they don't necessarily have enough information, because they were the same people last year who were telling me that the Eagles couldn't win a Super Bowl midway through the season. When I was absolutely convinced that they could, that they were saying that the Eagles were terrible, that the Eagles were, there was a real problem, that the Eagles were, so I mean, I don't trust someone getting an opinion right one off. And by the way, that includes me too.
Right. No,
that includes me too. I'm not saying that I've got every opinion right, because I am most certainly not.
But ultimately, let's
go back to Black Friday.
That opinion, even if it was a negative Nancy opinion at the time, ultimately turns out to be accurate, right? Like they have not. The offense has not looked
It has not.
competent since that game against better teams. The Lions, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Bears,
yes,
and now the Chargers.
And I would tell you that as I say to you, just a few years ago, we watched a Kansas City Chiefs team average 16 points a week for more than half the season. 16, which is about what the Eagles are doing right now. And their defense played really, really well. And they got it figured out enough that their offense gave them 24 points a week, and they won a Super Bowl. And they turned it around after Christmas. So I just won't write off a team that I've seen do it. I'm going to give them some level of grace, even though I think the offensive coordinator is incompetent, and I think that the quarterback needs to get his head out of his backside.
Renee on our YouTube chat, normally very positive Eagles fan, but after the Bears game, she was broken like me. If they win on Sunday, obviously I'll feel better, but even a convincing 40-0 win isn't enough for the big picture. I need to see them win out convincingly. Too many letdowns this season. They don't look like a winning team, which is frustrating considering the talent we have on the squad.
So ask Renee. Renee will ask you if so they go out and they win convincingly against the Raiders, and then they go out and they put not a beatdown, but they go down to Washington the very next week on Saturday and have a nice convincing win. They win by 10. And it's a nice, convincing win.
Is it 20-10?
No,
or is it 30-20?
They're not. No, I don't want to see the Commanders get 20 on them.
No, I know,
don't care.
I need to see the offense put together back-to-back weeks.
I just want to see a suffocating win.
Against two bad football teams. Like, I need to start seeing it because if I don't see it against the Raiders and the Commanders, I'm not going to see it against name the first-round opponent, name the second-round opponent, name the third-round opponent.
I would tell you Buffalo's defense may be worse than.
Oh, absolutely.
Could be worse than. Both of
so I need to start seeing them string things together.
Well, I get you, and that may the thing is, it may be a different answer for Connor. It may be a different answer for Renee. It may be a different answer for you.
Right,
and that's what this team has done to us.
They've made us overthink everything,
and that is what. And that, by the way, that's their fault.
What do we got in the text line, Connor? Our two stare into your soul questions: what weighs more, 2 appearances or potentially 2 collapses? And if they beat the Raiders Sunday and it's a convincing win, are you going to say, like me, well, it was just the Raiders? What do we got?
Jim from Souderton will lead us off, and he says, by far the Super Bowl wins or appearances carry me way higher than the collapse and potential 2 collapses bring me down. If they want to continue to go to the Super Bowl every other year, I'll take crap every other year along the way as well.
Yeah, I would sign up for it if I knew it.
Yeah, obviously.
If I knew it. The problem is I don't know it, and I'm living this horror film all over again with the Eagles.
See, our horror film, though, in the grand perspective of horror films.
Right, they're playing a team that's a horror movie on Sunday.
I got a split family that's never seen their team play in a Super Bowl. My brother rips his hair out every Sunday, and we've gone to 2 in the past 3 years, and I'm supposed to say it's not enough?
Well, you can still hold you can hold your team to a standard.
You can, Connor.
I do want more.
You can, Connor, because you can look at the circumstance and you can say that they don't have our GM, they don't have our talent, they don't have our. So I mean,
owner.
You can say they don't have Ziggy Wolf is not Jeff Lurie.
Yeah,
they don't have our circumstance, so you could say yes.
Yeah, I want more, but I also hold the one in more weight than the other.
Okay,
Ziggy Wolf or Ziggy Stardust?
Ziggy Wolf, but with an I.
Well, I'm going Ziggy Stardust.
Who's that?
That's Ziggy Stardust is David Bowie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a song.
David Bowie. It was his persona as a. He was like a rock star.
And he had a song called Ziggy Stardust.
But he did a whole. I think he did a whole album.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he did a whole album where he dressed as this person, Ziggy Stardust.
Well, that was Space Odyssey,
All
right?
Coming up
I don't know
next.
about that.
Oddity, whatever.
The biggest news of the day for the Eagles yesterday had nothing to do with their play. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Sean Marks and Ray Dunn.
641, Kincade Salciunas 97.5, the Fanatic. What weighs more, 2 appearances or potentially 2 collapses? And if they beat the Raiders on Sunday, will you say, well, it was just the Raiders? Sorry. I'm telling you now what I'm going to say.
What's crazy is, where does Connor fall on that one?
Oh, dude, there's one game that might kind of matter the rest of the regular season.
Buffalo.
And, yeah, it's Buffalo.
Okay, so it's so weird is that you guys go the one way on that question.
Nah, I will say,
and I'm totally against you.
I know, it's
on
amazing.
That.
I will
It's
say.
like, so you go into a restaurant, and everybody's bragged about the restaurant. You're like, okay, I've heard so much about this restaurant. You're like, and you go into the restaurant thinking it's going to suck. And you're like, okay, this restaurant, if it's okay, it didn't suck. I'm going to go in if it ends up. But if it's really, really good, I'm just okay. It didn't suck. Like, you're going in where the Eagles can't win. You're giving them.
No,
you're
I'm
giving
not,
them
because here's the deal. I'm not expecting it to suck. I'm expecting it to look good. But is it a mirage? Like, the Raiders suck.
They do.
They're so bad, right? Like, if the Eagles were playing the Raiders or the Titans, give me some of the other bottom feeders of the
Jets.
NFL this year. The Jets.
The Jets.
Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to walk it away saying that was a good win against Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
those teams mean nothing to me right now.
The Raiders played at New England. All right? New England, great team, right?
Yeah, 11.
They're a great team, right? They lost by 7 at New England.
Okay.
Just saying. They did get blown out at Indianapolis. They got blown out at Kansas City. They lost to Jacksonville by a point in overtime in that game a couple weeks ago, where they tried to win the game. They lost at Denver by a field goal, 10-7.
All right.
I mean, like, I get what you're saying. Like, they lost to Denver by a field goal. They lost by Denver at Denver by a field goal, and they lost at home to Denver by a touchdown. Right. Denver's the best team in the AFC with New England. So they lost to New England at New England by a touchdown. They lost at Denver by a touchdown, and they lost at Denver by a field goal, and then they lost to Denver at home by a touchdown.
If they don't cover the 11.5 point spread, this offense is
okay. Well, then they
might be one of the worst in the league. The Eagles.
Okay, so the Raiders played the 2 best teams in the AFC. On the road, they lost by 7, lost by 3, and at home they lost by 7.
Yeah, but
you're saying if they don't win by 11.5, that sucks.
I don't listen to Denver Sports Talk Radio during my free time. I can't imagine that.
Oh, I bet they were unhappy.
Yeah, no, but I can't imagine that today they're looking back to those games and saying, man, could those games be the reason why we don't do something in the playoffs? Like, if the Eagles look good against the Raiders, right? Let's say they look good. Let's say they win 30-10 on Sunday, which is a possibility, right? The Raiders are that bad. If they win 30-10 on Sunday, are you going to learn something from the Eagles that day?
Here's what I'm going to completely disagree with you on that. Absolutely, Denver Sports Talk Radio and the national media on Denver. What are they talking about with Denver? Why do they think Denver may not be for real? Because of Bo Nix and the offense.
Okay.
That's exactly what they're talking about, because their offense hasn't been good enough. That's what they are talking about. They're obsessing on Denver's offense. So they are going to go back to games like that and say that. So they will go back to that. I mean, it's like, look.
I mean, they're 11-2.
I get what you. I understand, but
and they've beaten some pretty good teams.
People are obsessing on the Denver offense.
Okay.
They're saying the Denver offense is good. Here's all I'm saying to you is that if I've seen the 2 best teams in the NFC, they played the 2 best teams in their conference in 3 games, and the largest margin of victory is 7 points, including 7 and 3 on the road. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying they have to cover 11.5 in order to impress you.
I think
it's a little
better.
much.
They better. If they don't cover the 11.5, then this team's not winning a damn thing. Like, they're not winning anything.
Wow.
They've lost 3 straight games, John. Like,
I know they have.
Like, I
know they have.
There's nothing that other than the defense, and I say that a million times because for whatever reason the defense gets shade every once in a while.
I get you.
Other than the defense, there is nothing that I can sit here and say I feel good about that.
I get you.
There's nothing. And the pedigree thing, I was kind of with you last week against the Chargers, before the Chargers game. And what did the pedigree do? It meant nothing for the Chargers game or the Bears game. They were supposed to beat the Bears at home because they can't lose 2 straight games. They're the Super Bowl champs. They're 7-point favorites at home. Short week.
See, now the Bears game was the one that I was totally, as you know, drinking the Kool-Aid.
It broke me.
I was handing out the cups.
It broke me.
Monday night, I wasn't nearly as chesty.
Now, the good thing is, speaking of broken, or at least it vanished, the Positivity Bunny's gone. I saw Jeff McClain tweet it out. Per team source, the Positivity Bunny is no longer inside NovaCare. Them doing that, I get it. Like, they're trying to have fun, trying to keep it light. It just opened the door to be mocked, right? They were mocked for it when it happened, and then after losing, they're mocked even more.
Oh, yes.
And it's something so embarrassing that, like, can they shake that? Like, that feeling of the, oh, my God, the rabbit thing.
Yeah,
we really did that.
Like, all right. What,
sure they can.
Can you think of, like, one of the more embarrassing moments of your life still, even though it happened years ago?
Absolutely.
What was that?
All the
Connor?
time.
Come on.
No.
I have one off the top of my head.
What
Really?
was
We're
it?
going to just do this on air right now?
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school. First day, freshman year, right? So that's a big day of your life. You're going into the new school, the new buildings. You're seeing kids that you haven't seen before because they're old. They're 2-3 years older than you, right? It's first day, and there was this girl that I hit it off with in 8th grade, right? Nothing crazy. It's 8th grade.
Okay.
Right? So
you thought you had game?
well, no, I knew I didn't, but she was nice to me, so I felt, that's cool.
All right.
Because
Okay,
remember, I was
good.
fat. Like,
You were chubby tunes.
I didn't have much game in middle school. My only game was, can I eat more? Like, that was the
you had gain, but not
yes,
game.
Yes, that was what I had. And I'm walking down the hallway. It's first day. We're not even at homeroom yet. And I see her wave in my direction. I gave a big wave back.
Oh, no. Was
and
it another guy?
like a movie, 3 of her friends walked, like girls.
Oh, no.
It was like a movie. Like, you've seen that scene
Yes.
in high school or weird elementary or middle school movies, right? When you're going through those weird phases in life. I waved back to her.
Oh, no.
And she was waving to the people behind me.
Oh, no.
I avoided her the entire year because I was afraid to get brought up.
Yeah,
To me, the positivity bunny's that.
2000
It's so embarrassing.
2004 Baby Braves. Do you remember the Baby Braves?
Yes.
When the Braves had all the Baby Braves. Well, there's one of my nemesis in the media is Mark DeRosa
Yes.
from MLB
Yeah,
Network.
you're not a big fan.
No, I'm a big fan of Mark. He just believes he believes to this day that I got him traded from the Braves.
Sure.
He blames me. But I made him a bet on the air that after Father's Day, the Braves were 6 games behind the Phillies. And I made him a bet on the air on his weekly appearance from Dunkin' Donuts that the Braves would not beat the Phillies out and keep their division streak alive. And he's like, well, what's the bet? And I said, I'll go platinum blonde.
Nice.
And I had to go platinum blonde.
Nice.
And it took 7 hours to dye my hair blonde.
That's a bet.
And it was terrible. No, it was awful. My hair. And my hair was jet black, by the way. And it took 7 hours. And the Braves literally had it.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
Videographer, the whole 9 yards, like embarrassed the hell out of me with it.
Connor, you
So-
want to bare your soul to us?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
While we're here?
Freshman
Yeah, come on.
football at RV, they were asking if anyone can kick. I was like, yeah, I kicked growing up. I kicked for the Pee Wee football team I played for. So,
Okay.
all right, get loose. We're going to do kickoff drills. Like one of the first days of practice. You know that stretch where you kick up in front of you as high as you can to really just like stretch out. Did that one time. Field was a little bit wet. Fell directly
no.
on my ass in front of the entire team in stretching
Nice.
lines right after I said I could kick.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
Not a great way to introduce yourself to the
and
team.
that sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
That positivity bunny will stick with me forever. I will never forget about the stupid positivity bunny.
Not if this team turns it around.
You
It'll
still
be
think
okay.
that they will.
No.
That's the biggest difference between you and I
think
right
this
now.
team is going to turn it around to some level. To some level.
And I will say, yeah, because of the Raiders. That's where I'm at. So, stare into your soul day. What weighs more, 2 appearances or 2 collapses? If they beat the Raiders, is it because it's just the Raiders? You can climb in at 610-632-0975. Now, there's one more I want to add to it. And then the rest of the show, we got all kinds of stuff that we'll get into. I want to look even deeper into our souls. Deep into our feelings, John. Because there's a new message I'm starting to see by a lot of Eagles fans on social media. And I'm curious if other people feel this way. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Uncharacteristic performances in L.A. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are really trying to solve the issues that have led to their 3-game losing streak they're currently on. And Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday to talk about a little bit of what is going into that, including some uncharacteristic performances on Monday night.
Obviously uncharacteristic of AJ to have drops, just like we've talked about with Jalen, uncharacteristic interceptions as well, for both parties. So we'll go through that today. We'll have our conversations in here about it.
But losing football games has become a characteristic of the Eagles over the past month. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Unfortunately, neither Jalen Carter or Lane Johnson returned to practice yesterday, even though it was a walkthrough and the injury report was an estimation. The Birds could once again be shorthanded in the trenches on Sunday against the Raiders. Flyers are back on the ice tonight. They have their own Vegas matchup. Puck drop against the Golden Knights is at 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Sixers are off again. They'll be back in action tomorrow night. Jeremy Fowler joins us coming up at 8:55 for the national perspective on what's going on with the Birds right now. This update is brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269, NECA, and the Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW269.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Weekdays.com.
6:57 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. Connor, what do we got on the text line? What weighs more, 2 appearances or 2 potential collapses? And again, we are calling a collapse, not totally missing out on the playoffs. Like, if they back their way into the playoffs and lose in the first round, that's still a collapse, in my opinion.
Whoa. They can't back their way into the playoffs. This team can't back their way into the playoffs. Right. There's no backing in. They're winning. They win. They're in.
They crawl their way into the playoffs. We'll use that word instead.
Well, they have a path in. There's no. The Eagles don't need any help to get in the playoffs, so they can't back in. They don't need any help to get in the playoffs.
They do need the Cowboys to keep losing because I don't know if the Eagles.
No, they don't. They beat Washington. They beat Washington twice, and they beat the. The only way they need any help from the Cowboys is if they lose, either to the Raiders or to the Commanders.
You're You're worried about the Raiders all of a sudden.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying it's not a. They do not need any help to win the division. Okay. From the Cowboys. The Cowboys have no control of anything that goes on.
All right. 2 appearances or 2 potential collapses for the Eagles. What means more? What weighs more? And then if they beat the Raiders on Sunday, are you going to say it's just the Raiders? What do we got on the text line? And then I'm going to tell you what the latest message is on social media from a lot of Eagles fans.
This texter answers both questions, and they say the 2 Super Bowls weigh more because success is hard to sustain. Also, it is just the Raiders, and I'm saying it today. It's just the Raiders.
Yeah, I said it yesterday that it's just the Raiders. They're going to win Sunday. They're going to win, and it might look impressive.
Why is he saying success is hard to sustain? Okay, let's talk about the great teams of the eras. Let's just keep it to the modern era. Let's talk Chiefs. Let's talk New England.
Maybe they're not the Chiefs or the Patriots.
Yeah, but they have every single thing those teams have. They have a
quarterback. They don't have a GOAT. With all due respect to Jalen, he's not Mahomes or Brady.
They have the team that was the number 1 seed, the odds-on favorite, the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl before the season started. They were the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. Everything in their path, their self-inflicted wounds. There's no reason that this should be happening to the Eagles. They're doing this to themselves.
Yeah.
Because they hired an incompetent guy is part of the reason. And then they had a diva wide receiver that has caused everything, and that's well documented. It's everything changed the minute we were on that bus in Tampa, and the minute that A.J. Brown couldn't just be happy with the Eagles winning games and with Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith having career years, when he couldn't be happy with that after watching Saquon have a career year last year, that wasn't going to be good enough.
That was the start. It got worse.
That was the start of it all.
It was worse after the twitch.
Right.
That was when
that was the start. That was 2 weeks later. That was the start of it all, though. Is that AJ started it all?
All right. What else
he lit a fire.
What else you got on the text line?
All right, Ben from Tampa checks in, and he says, celebrate the Super Bowl and the highs. The collapses suck, but winning the big one is everything.
All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. It's a stare into your soul or stare into your heart day. What weighs more, 2 Super Bowl appearances, one of which they won, or 2 potential collapses, one of which we lived through and one of which we may be living through right now. Now, I want to add another one. So we had a texter just 2 texts ago saying it is hard to sustain success. So, Johnny, it's amazing that you caught that. That's been the newest message I've seen on social media. Not from everybody, right? But, we post content every single day. Shout out to Sean Rodman, Austin Jones, whoever's helping us out with YouTube. We post the content every day, and I like to look at the responses to try to actually have real sports talk, not just see that you're an idiot because they don't have any sort of backing with their opinion. They just don't like what I said. When there's actual responses where I can go, all right, let's talk about this. There is a consistent message that I'm seeing a lot of recently over the last couple of weeks. It's hard to repeat. Yes, it is. Like, nobody's saying that it was easy for the Chiefs or Patriots. Right? Nobody said that we'll just do it again next year. We'll just do it again next year. Of course it's hard to repeat. Of course a lot of things have to go your way. But it's almost like we're sort of easing the pain already in December by saying it's hard to repeat. I declared them dead 2 weeks ago.
You did.
But I'm not saying they're dead because it's hard to repeat. No, I'm saying they're dead because they have a horrible offense. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy with some of the changes they made this offseason. And I've been upset with them since before the season started. I'm not happy with the direction of this offense when I knew that defenses would do whatever they could to try to stop the run, and yet Nick Sirianni, Kevin Patullo, and the Eagles offense said, we're going to keep doing inside zones. That hitch route, one of Jalen Hurts' interceptions, the defensive back for the Chargers knew what was coming, read the play, jumped the route, interception.
Right. And also Jalen.
Yeah, no, he was bad too on the play. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But, like, the plays are predictable. And so I'm upset with the Eagles not repeating as Super Bowl champions because of their own doing. I'm not the person that's going to sit here and say they're not doing it because it's hard to.
Yeah.
But that's been the new message recently.
The Eagles are more self-inflicted. Here's the only thing I would say to that texter is the idea is this, is that if A.J. Brown catches that ball, and by the way, I don't know how many, if you have to listen to how many NFL wide receivers, ex-NFL wide receivers or ex-NFL quarterbacks that A.J. Brown has to catch that ball for a winning touchdown the other night. The Eagles win that game.
Yes, they would have.
None of the conversations of this week are going on.
Hey, if Jake Elliott makes a field goal.
Well, if Jake Elliott, if you know, with all, hey, our buddy Ty Johnson, Missy Elliott doesn't kill this team consistently, which he does, there's a different story. But to me, if A.J. Brown catches that ball, our shows are entirely different this week. It's frustration with the offense.
Frustration, yes.
But the Eagles are literally on the verge of closing out the division this week. They're still in play for the 1 seed. And it's a totally different situation. So, yes, A.J. really let things down the other night, too, even though Jalen was the number one culprit. Big time.
Yeah.
Could have been a different story. We'd be having different conversations.
Yeah.
Seriously.
The tone would be totally different.
Look, and it's true. And you brought it up, and it's smart. If there's one made field goal, we're having a different conversation.
Totally different. All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, we also have a check-in here on that same conversation with winning the Super Bowl. Coach Mike says only one team wins the Super Bowl every season. Many teams can have a devastating collapse within the same season. Winning a Super Bowl cements your name and your team in history. Even though you may feel the immense pain now, collapses are not etched into stone and remembered forever.
Can I ask you, I would ask Coach Mike, can you tell me the Super Bowl winning teams, and I'll hang up and listen, that have had devastating collapses the next year when they bring back almost everybody?
Right, and devastating collapses.
Devastating collapses.
Not like they struggled throughout the season.
Because that's not the truth.
So
it's not the truth.
Here's one thing I'll push back on. We appreciate everybody who's texting in, man. Seriously,
absolutely.
It furthers the conversation.
No
I love
question.
that. That's why I love our YouTube chat too. When he says collapses aren't like as etched in stone, do you know that 2023 will always be a reference for any team in the NFL moving forward?
It's the worst collapse ever.
Like if the Indianapolis
of a 10-1 team,
the Indianapolis Colts might miss the playoffs, right? They're bringing in freaking 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, for crying out loud, to try to salvage their season. Their quote-unquote collapse, you can point to the injury to Daniel Jones being the reason why. But the Eagles' 2023 season, forget here how it will be referenced. I only know of the 1987, I think it was,
Jets.
1987 Jets because of the 2023 Eagles.
Correct.
I was not alive, nor close to being alive in 1987. And I can rattle off the 1987 New York Jets because I heard about it during the 2023 season.
Okay, I hate you, by the way, that you just brought that up. Thank you very much. You weren't even alive.
Yes, sorry.
I could have had a Stanley Cup ring before you were alive.
It wasn't.
I feel really
no,
old.
it wasn't 87 because they finished 6-9. It was one of those teams though.
God,
where they had to collapse.
Terrible. No, I think it was like 90.
Hey, no, sorry, it was 1986. I was
86.
1 year off. They were 10-1 and they finished 10-6. The reason why the Eagles is worse is because they had one extra game. They actually also won a playoff game in the wild card round and then lost in the divisional round, whereas the Eagles lost in the first round of the playoffs. So
I think you and Connor are getting younger. I told Austin Jones this morning before 6 o'clock, I told him something off color, literally telling him to go something himself because he was telling me he wasn't alive for the last game in the vet.
Yeah.
I was
young kids
no,
out
he was
there.
6. He was 6. I'm sorry. So I had to send him the picture of me tailgating that day.
I remember when Ray Dunn told me he never went to the vet.
Oh, my gosh, that's even worse. That's incredible.
Crazy.
It's incredible.
Connor, you went to the vet, right?
Yeah, once or twice.
Okay.
I was like 7.
only once or twice. I mean, I did the game plan, so I was there a lot.
Your dad was a good dad.
Yeah, my dad was a little. He wasn't busy.
You were busy.
He was busy.
Yeah, you guys were busy.
I wasn't busy. I was a kid.
Your dad was actually
he was
like
a little busy.
Your dad was actually like couldn't commute home to take you to a game.
He had a work trip going.
Right. Yeah. All right.
God bless him.
Coming up next, we'll check more of our text line on this emotional intelligence Thursday.
I'm checking all of you.
Intelligence.
Bump that up, Connor.
Emotional intelligence.
Is that as loud as it is? Sorry. All right, emotional intelligence. Is there one less team to worry about for the Phillies? We take a quick break from the Eagles, except for your text, because one team is losing players left and right. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic.
Whether you're
com.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's always a treat when you can just eat lunch by yourself at a bar. I did that yesterday in the great Northeast at my old favorite bar, Out of Whack Jack's. Isn't that like a great thing? Like, you get it, especially when
I love it.
When you had a little kid at home. It was nice to just kind of sit by yourself in silence for a little bit.
I love going back, being a Broomall, growing up in Broomall.
Yeah.
I love going back to places in Delco that stopping in, whether I'm usually meeting somebody, but going back to places that I went to when I was younger. And
See, I didn't want to even meet anybody.
Nostalgia's great.
I wanted to be
you
by
wanted
myself.
just the quiet.
And it was great. And I ate a hamburger. I had a Miller Lite. And
that's the difference.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy just by myself. It was wonderful. While I was there, I saw the breaking news that Pete Alonso signed with the Baltimore Orioles. 5-year, $155, right? So $5 million more than Schwarbaum. So Pete Alonso goes to the Baltimore Orioles this 1 day after, or 2 days after, Edwin Diaz signs with the Dodgers, because why wouldn't the Dodgers be able to acquire another incredible player? But the New York Mets have now lost their all-time home run hitter, and it's not like he's all-time home run hitter at the age of 36.
Correct.
Like, he's in his prime.
Absolutely.
And also their closer that has been dominant for them despite their lack of success big picture. Edwin Diaz has been a stud for them.
But he wasn't. The Dodgers were going to win that. They didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance.
No.
Diaz wanted to go to L.A.
Right. So
once the Dodgers were in, it's not like he said, screw you, Mets.
So the Mets last year, even though I had the very dark day predicting them to win the division after the trade deadline, the Mets fell apart after that. I don't see how they recover losing these two players. At least Alonso. Because unless Juan Soto becomes Juan Soto again, which that's obviously part of the reason why they had their downfall last year. Unless Juan Soto's Juan Soto, that's a huge loss for them.
What about if today the word comes down, Cody Bellinger's a Met? You don't think that Cody Bellinger being a Met helps them like automatically bounce?
All of a sudden, they're lefty heavy.
Yeah.
Between Soto and Bellinger. That's the Phillies issue. I mean, that's what made that lineup so dangerous was the Soto-Alonso thing, the left-right. Like, that made them so dangerous, and yet for just like the Phillies, 5 through 9 in the order was a disaster. But you look at the Mets, I mean, those are two key guys that they lost. And I hate Brandon Nimmo, but like Nimmo was one of their locker room culture guys.
Wait,
like
but they got 40-year-old Marcus Semien. Does that not do it for you?
10 years ago, maybe.
Now,
but
Nimmo,
not so much.
The Nimmo trade to bring Semien in opens up an outfield spot where they didn't previously have one.
Right.
So you have to imagine they're going to be heavily in on either Bellinger or Kyle Tucker.
Well, they're supposedly in on Bellinger heavy. Kyle Tucker, though, may end up a Dodger, which is going to make us all scream bloody murder.
Yeah.
And Kyle Tucker may sign a 3-year deal with the Dodgers, which some sort of handshake, wink, wink deal. Stan Kasten, who I know well, who the president of the Dodgers, I'm telling you right now, there's some shady stuff going on with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
they're smart. They're smart.
No, they are smart, and they're willing.
3D chess.
Right. It's like they pay Shohei Ohtani for the next 50 years. Mookie Betts for the next 50 years.
They are going to put stuff in place before this. They're going to put deals in place before this salary cap comes into place.
Yeah,
that are foolproof.
By the way, I'm curious. And we're going to play some audio from Kyle Schwarber's press conference yesterday because he had his media availability after he signed his extension. Does it mean anything for you that the way they worked out the contract? Did you see how they worked out the pay? So it's 5-year, $150, but year one is $18 million. The rest of the years will be $33. So does that tell you that they are going to try to buy somebody else in free agency, or is that just trying to open up money for
I think it's
Real
the money
Muto?
I think it's the money that they realize they're going to have to overpay short term for Real Muto, and they're going to have to buy. They're going to have to pay for a guy who's not on the roster in getting rid of Castellanos. So they're going to get somebody. They're looking to get somebody of value, but they're also going to have to pay somebody to take Castellanos off their hands.
Sure.
So I think that's part of that.
So that's part of it.
Them
so Schwarber kind of helps him out. He's still getting his money. He gets his money either way.
It's guaranteed.
Right.
But and I'm sure he's not going to be on food stamps.
No, I think he's going to be just fine. But I'm curious. I wonder why they were able to work out the deal because In Schwarber's presser yesterday, he did say he's recruiting JT Realmuto. I don't think he has to recruit all that hard. I think JT likes it here.
You know what I said to that, by the way, when I saw that? Screw that. Screw that. If you have to recruit JT Realmuto, screw that. If you have to beg JT Realmuto, if you have to sell JT Realmuto on being a Philly, on coming back here, screw that.
I don't think he's like.
Well, that's what he said.
I don't think he's begging. I don't think he's begging and pleading.
Okay, that's what he said. It's his words that he's selling him on. If you have to sell him on it, just use the word sell him on it. If you have to sell him on coming back, screw that.
Well, hold on. I will say, what if the selling point is, trust me, we're going to win? Well, because what if we haven't seen him win? What if the Dodgers, not that they are.
Well, why would he listen to Schwarber on that? Why would
Schwarber's the leader of the clubhouse.
Why would JT listen? JT's a veteran in baseball for what? How many years now?
I don't think
he doesn't need Schwarber to
I don't think JT's thinking about signing with the Rockies. You know what I mean?
I think it's the Red Sox is reported.
Sure, and maybe he's thinking, do they have a better chance of winning than we do here? Because I think that's the one thing Realmuto still wants to do is to try to win. Yeah, I don't think it's sell the city and sell the fan base and sell what this organization has provided for him over the years because he's gotten a lot out of it.
If he has to be sold on a clubhouse and an organization that he's been in for a long time, again, I say screw that.
I think you're going a little too far with
John,
the
yesterday on
thing.
post-show headlines, you told me that 2026 might be a disaster for the Phillies.
No, I think it could absolutely be a.
What if JT Realmuto also thinks it's a disaster?
I think he very well might.
All right, so that's what Schwarber's selling him on.
He's part of it. He's part of the reason.
Actually,
if he thinks it is.
Actually, Realmuto is one of the only guys that played well for the Phillies in the series against the Dodgers.
If he's part of it, I mean, seriously, I just am not.
All right, speaking of Schwarber.
This coddling stuff, I'm not into the coddling.
He had his media availability yesterday, and he talked about what brought him back to Philadelphia. You'll hear that. We'll check our text line on our Stare Into Your Soul Thursday, Emotional Intelligence Thursday, about our Eagles topics. If you missed them, I'll remind you what they are coming up in a little bit. You can text and call on 610-632-0975. And we got to do the Wawa $50 gift card.
We do.
Today as well. All right, it's
Kincade
Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Can you believe the year is almost over? I can't. Like, every time we hit December, I'm that guy. Oh, my God, it's December 11th already. But I am that guy. I don't know where the time goes.
Bob Cooney's upset with you with that.
Completing tasks before the end of the year can help you start fresh and organized in 2026, right? So after you decorate the house, and now that you're somewhat prepared for the holidays, maybe you take a moment to think about what you could take care of now. Maybe you've been ignoring drywall cracks, cracked bricks, floor and wall gaps, uneven floors, sticking windows and doors, bowed walls. Some of these things you realize, I can't take care of that myself. You got to call some experts. That's Groundworks. Groundworks knows that all these signs point to major damage building up in your foundation and will only get worse over time. So it's not that it's not appealing to your eyes. It's also the fact that this could actually cause reduction in the value of your home. It could also cause a danger zone for you. But don't worry. With a free foundation inspection from Groundworks, the team's experts will identify your home's issues at the source. Get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later, okay? The longer you wait, the more extensive and expensive the fix will be. Just visit groundworks.com today, book your free inspection, and they'll provide you with a no-obligation quote. Groundworks, there's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Birds back to the drawing board. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are desperately trying to solve the issues that have caused them to drop 3 straight football games. Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday and talked about some actual positives for Monday night.
Never want the turnovers, but he did some really good things. I think there's a lot of good things on offense. We were able to move the football against a really good defense. Now, we didn't finish drives, and we turned the ball over, but there was a lot to be encouraged by.
Well, I think Philadelphia fans would just be encouraged by a win this Sunday against the Raiders. The Eagles host Las Vegas 1 p.m. on Sunday. Unfortunately, neither Jalen Carter or Lane Johnson returned to practice yesterday, according to the injury report. It was a walkthrough, so it was just an estimation. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. The Flyers are back on the ice tonight. They have their own Vegas matchup. The Golden Knights are in town. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Sixers are off again. They will be finally back in action again tomorrow night. We'll talk to Jeremy Fowler coming up at 8:55 for his thoughts on what's going wrong with the Birds. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, on this Emotional Intelligence Thursday, I saw Mopar in our YouTube chat saying you got to look into your heart, because I remember that was another Jeffrey Lurie line. You got to look into your heart, stare into your heart. We're asking you a couple questions.
That, by the way?
You just look in the mirror and then you cut your skin open
there you
and
go.
stare at your heart.
Dr. Mendelsohn can do that for you, by the way. Great at Bryn Mawr Hospital.
What weighs more for you? We're trying to figure out who you are as a person, who I am as a person, who John is, who Connor is. What weighs more? 2 Super Bowl appearances, one of which you won, or 2 potential collapses if this continues to go the way that it does, even if they make the playoffs but they lose early, right? The expectations were to get back to at least an NFC championship game. It was not to get to the playoffs, right? It was NFC championship game or bust, Super Bowl or bust.
We were getting on you for saying that was the minimum
right, for saying NFC championship game or bust. So I don't want anybody all of a sudden saying, well, it's hard, which there are people saying that. So our 3 stare into your soul questions. Connor, have a text ready for us before we play some of the Schwarber audio. What weighs more, 2 appearances or 2 potential collapses? If the Eagles look good on Sunday, are you a finally? Or are you a, well, it was just the Raiders person? I, this week, am just a Raiders person. Earlier in the year against the Giants, I celebrated to finally look good. But now that I have even more information, I'm going to say it was just the Raiders. Lastly, our third one, are you one of the people that are now saying to yourself, it's hard to repeat as Super Bowl champions? Because that's been the new message from a lot of people on social media that seem to be softening the blow for themselves. Like, all right, it's tough. It's tough to repeat. So what do we got on the text line? On any of those 3 stare into your soul topics?
Call from Delco checks in, says, this is an insane question. We've been starving for a Super Bowl for generations and now have 2 and are asking what weighs more. Teams collapse and come up short every year, but to go to 2 and win 1 with the same core group is special.
You guys know?
I'm asking it again. Who are the teams that win Super Bowls that have epic collapses?
We have a list from a texter.
Okay.
All
right, what do we got?
Give them to me.
98 Broncos. Elway retires. They went 6-10 the next season.
Elway retired. Yes, I can
Bucks.
absolutely.
Gruden went 7-9 the next season. Locker room dysfunction.
Yes.
12 Ravens. My guy Joe Flacco next season 8-8 and missed the playoffs. 15 Broncos. Manning retired. Had a top 10 defense, but
Manning
no
retired,
offense.
yes.
Sound familiar? Went 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
Retired. 2 quarterbacks retired.
21 Rams. Team went 5-12 the year after.
Remember, they had signed all the free agents on 1-year deals. That is the F the picks year when they did that. So 3 of those examples are nothing like the Eagles situation, where they had a stable roster, one of the youngest rosters in football, everybody coming back, completely different situations than that. The only one that could potentially be was that Ravens situation, and the Ravens roster was not even that young. That Joe Flacco year was not even that young.
So do you guys know Philly Mace from Barstool Max?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Max
sure.
Talente,
Absolutely.
yes.
There's a clip that circulated yesterday that kind of goes to the 2 collapses or 2 appearances topic. They basically discussed on that show. That's the Big Cat show.
Pardon my take.
Pardon my take. Thank you. So I respect them. I have enough going on my day. Where he talked about the pain of losing weighs more than the celebration of victory, and the feeling of bliss when they win.
Okay.
And he almost said how much better life would be if you did not have allegiances to a team. You just love sports. Right? Like, you could watch a game every day and just be happy with it being a good game.
No.
But the fact that when they lose, you feel so much. He feels worse after a loss than he is happy after a win. There's people like that.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. If you did not have rooting interest in games and you just watch sports and you had no team, you never had any team, first of all, no one could ever even relate to that.
Right.
But
'cause somebody's always got.
But this is not a
allegiances to
No,
something.
there would not be. There's no way. No.
But does the pain of losing hit harder than the okay?
Yes. It
So
does.
so you agree with him when he says that?
Oh no, the pain of losing.
You just don't agree with the whole.
I talked with Austin. I said it, the conversation I had with Austin this morning. The pain I feel about the Eagles losing that NFC Championship game, which I believe was January 11th or January 18th, whatever, 2002, when they lost the closing game in the Vet. That pain. I feel it today in my bones. That day, how cold it was, the pain of it. And I said I never walked out of a stadium where it was less, it was so quiet. It was just a death walk out of that stadium going, first of all, my childhood stadium's gone.
Right.
The Eagles aren't going to the Super Bowl, which I was guaranteed. And I was going to the Super Bowl to broadcast, to do my radio show in Atlanta. I was going to be there. I thought for sure I'm going to a party to watch my team in the Super Bowl.
And that loss
scarred
you forever.
And then to watch the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl and just trounce the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
The Rich Gannon-led Raiders.
Oh, it was horrible.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but I can remember so much more about the 2018 Super Bowl than I can about the 2022 Super Bowl. Like, even just my memories are more vivid of the win than the loss.
Because you like to think back to the good times. You're a nostalgic person like me.
And again, Connor, and it's one of those with all due respect things, which I'm not saying it dispassionately, is you didn't live a bad era. You didn't live your entire life of the Eagles being awful. Like, it's so different for a 30-year-old to say, yes, that's my life as an Eagles fan. Because a 30-year-old and a 60-year-old, our Eagles fandom is a completely
totally
different pedigree.
Absolutely.
Like, we lived trash. Until I was your guys' age, the Eagles, it was a constant kick in the privates.
But here's the thing. That's assuming I can't learn from other people's experiences. I have people in my family that have never seen a team appear. My father wore a shirt once a week of a skeleton sitting in a chair. Just one before I die.
The Eagles shirt?
Yeah,
I know that shirt, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I've never seen that one. But
I know that shirt.
The thing is, though,
that's awesome.
Someone can tell you how bad something is. I could tell somebody how bad cancer is. And I could tell them how bad it feels, how bad it's awful.
Know it.
And then when they live it, they live it. Unless they live it, they can't. They could sympathize, they could empathize, but they can't feel it. They can't know it. My wife lived it with me. She can't. She lived it. She saw it. She felt it. The empathy. But you don't know what it feels
she
like.
Can't articulate the pain.
It's terrible.
All right. Schwarber yesterday had his media availability as he signed his 5-year re-signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. First clip that we'll play for you. Here he was talking about the organization.
Knowing that John and Lee, Dave, the whole front office, the whole organization, and the players, right, that they wanted to put their best foot forward with us and know that they're going to get everything in return, that they're investing in me. That's just how I operate. You know, I want to make sure when I'm stepping back into the clubhouse, I'm stepping back into spring training, and I'm stepping wherever that has a Phillies P, whenever you're on the road, that you're representing that organization to the best of your ability. And that's what I plan on doing. And I plan on continuing to be myself and to challenge myself on a year in and year out basis and on a daily basis to continue to evolve and to continuing to keep being the best player that I can be, and also to try to make everyone around myself the best version they can be. And I want them to keep me accountable and to keep me the best version I can be as well.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a fat and happy guy. Like I got my money. I'm done. He got paid pretty well coming here the first time. He got paid much more just now. But
he is such a
he's a great leader, great clubhouse guy.
He's a positive influence on every single person that he interacts with in that organization.
And that's part of the reason why they wanted to do whatever it took to get him back here. Which and look, I'll say this: I know it hasn't amounted to winning anything. I do still celebrate the fact that John Middleton's the owner of the Phillies. Like, I understand people get it's like the Joshua Harris thing. Like, well, they haven't won anything. At least he pays. Like, I celebrate when my owners are trying, even though it might be wrong.
I'd rather have it paid. I'd rather have the same amount of money paid, but paid differently.
Sure. But at least they're paying it, right? Whereas there's organizations that don't
won't
do
pay it. Yes,
and there
exactly.
was the story that John Middleton went to Kyle's house, or vice versa. I forget who went to whose house, but they had dinner together. And like, John Middleton's a hands-on owner, and I respect that. I appreciate it, especially because he's willing to pony up a lot of money and has been, despite the lack of World Series and playoff success. They've not gotten that bleeping trophy back just yet. Now, Schwarber also talked about another reason why he wanted to come back, and that was you, the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think that's something that you can't take for granted. You know, having a Wednesday getaway day that you could have 35, 40,000 sold out house, whatever it is. When you're in the postseason and you see the towels waving, you see the emotion, you see the excitement, you see the will, right? Like, that's what you can only dream for as a player. And you have a fan base that emotionally invests as much as they do in you, because we are so emotionally invested in what we do on a day in and day out basis, right? That this is our livelihood. We know our goals. We know what we want to do. And in Philadelphia, we all have our expectations. Our expectations is the win a World Series, right? Like, that's how we've operated here these last 4 years since I've been here.
I love that. Like, I do think he means it.
Okay.
Look, I understand he got paid $150 million.
He wasn't coming back unless he got the years he wanted.
Sure.
So What mattered was the years he wanted.
Sure.
So it's great.
Look,
It's great. Look, he loves us, and I believe that. He loves being here. He loves the fans here. But from all Major League Baseball Network, ESPN.com, he had demands about what he wanted as far as money and years. He got those money and years. That's why he's back, not because of the fans. He's back because he got the money in years. And if he didn't get the money in years, he was going to go exactly where he got the money in years.
Well, wasn't he offered the money in the years in Baltimore? Like the exact, exactly.
Because he got to stay here. He got the same money in years here, so he wasn't going to leave here. You're not leaving.
But part of it, I do believe, is he wants to be in a situation where he likes being. I mean, look, he played in Chicago. He's played in Boston, and now he's played in Philadelphia.
You're not moving your family for the same offer.
What, to Baltimore? That's an hour down 95.
You're not moving your family to another organization.
He could have done the J.J. Redick, live in Brooklyn and play for the Sixers.
You're not moving them for the same offer. So what he did was he took the best offer that was there. And by the way, God bless him. That's what free agency is. He has every right to do that. But then I don't need the song and dance because if the Phillies had held strong and said, we're not giving you the years you want, or we're not going to pay, we are not paying $30 million a year. We'll offer you this. He wasn't going to be here. He was going to be where
I do think he likes being here, though.
No, I do.
I do believe that's a factor.
I agree. But if they didn't give him what he wanted, he wasn't going to be here.
Yeah, if they offered him a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal.
If they didn't give him the 5. They had to give him the 5. That's what he wanted 5. And his camp was holding to 5. They have made it very clear on all the networks.
Yeah, but you know what? Like,
if they didn't go 5, they weren't getting him.
I want to expand on this coming up next, and we'll check more text messages on our Eagles topics. Kyle Schwarber as well, if you want to chime in on that, 610-632-0975. I do believe there's something to actually wanting to stay here. I get what you're saying.
No,
John,
I mean, there is nothing disingenuous about what he said about loving us and loving being here. But if the Phillies didn't offer him the 5 years, he was gone.
Right, but I'm going to compare him to another player.
Okay.
Very similar situation, and I look at them totally different ways.
Okay.
It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Every day, someone in your community, my community, they're looking for a second chance because addiction, well, it has just taken away their life from them. And they have made some decisions that have they need your help. They need you and I to step up. And maybe we can do it in a very unexpected way thanks to the Salvation Army. Let's say on your property, on your business property, you've got an RV, you've got a car, you got a boat, you got a truck or a motorcycle that it's at the end of the road for you. You don't use it anymore or you don't need it. Well, the Salvation Army can use it, and they can use it to help somebody else rebuild their life, to find stability, to discover hope again in their life. Because the Salvation Army has been changing lives for nearly 150 years. Your kindness continues to make that possible. Donating is simple. Call 800-SA-TRUCK, Salvation Army. Go to satruck.org and schedule a pickup. They're going to come right to your home, tow the vehicle at no charge. You're going to get an IRS-approved receipt so you can use it at tax time. And that used vehicle in your driveway could be the turning point in someone else's life. You don't even know this person, but you're going to be making an impact in this holiday season. So you got that car, that motorcycle, that boat, that RV. Donate it today. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. Help the Salvation Army continue to do the most good.
8:42 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we will do our Wawa order. Happy Wawa days, Johnny.
Oh, it was so nice. Wawa order's great.
And you picked up the breakfast burrito for Connor and I this morning. We thank you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. They were 2 for $1.
That's fine.
I'm
all about a deal.
I
you
can
know
find
me.
a bargain.
I'm Mr. Bowling Basket. So, like, if I respect people that buy me discounted items.
I love a bargain.
So we'll give away another $50 gift card to Wawa in the 8 o'clock hour, where we'll continue to do our order, where John gives one, I give one, Connor gives one, whatever order we do.
We'll put it together. Today will be a text.
A text? All right, Texter will win it. Okay, sounds good.
Texter wins today.
All right, so that's in the 8 o'clock hour. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. You told me he had some interesting things about the future of the Eagles. He'll join us coming up at 8:55.
Wait to hear what he has to say about Jalen Hurts' and the Eagles' plan and future from what he's hearing. It's going to be and I think there's a reason for it.
Sure.
But it's going to be, of course, people I think may read too much into it.
Yeah, they might. That might happen.
But we'll see.
All right, so Schwarber signs the 5-year extension. I don't think you're crazy to say that he came back here because he got 5 years and $150 million.
No, that's absolutely it's 100% factual because he wasn't coming back unless he got the 5th year.
But I think he means what he says about the city.
So do I. 100%. He loves it. He loves it here, and we love him.
If he got so he got 5-150. What if he got offered 5-160 at a different situation?
He would have gone. If the Phillies didn't offer 5, if the Phillies didn't offer 5 and the Phillies didn't match the offer, he was going to leave.
If he got offered $10 million more to go to Tampa,
and he would have,
and the Phillies didn't match that 5-160, do you think he would have picked Tampa over the Phillies?
The Phillies,
I don't.
The Phillies had said that they were going to match offers as far as length and time, according to the insiders.
Right, but I would imagine everybody has a breaking point
in order to keep him here.
Right. And I imagine everybody has a breaking point where they go, all right, we can't go that far.
So, and
at one point, 6 years came up in talks. I
don't know who that came up with.
Thank God that didn't. It was reported a couple weeks ago.
I don't think anybody made an offer of 6 years.
Sure. But there was talk that it could have been, and I'm glad that it wasn't.
Glad it wasn't, too.
So the reason why I also buy into him saying, like, look, part of it is because of the city. Like, Paul George came here because he got the 5th year, right?
Yes.
That's why he came here and did not stay with the Clippers.
Okay.
I don't – if Paul George – and maybe he did – I've blacked out a lot of the Paul George memories in my brain because there's not many of them. If Paul George said at one point during his press conference, I picked Philly because I love the fan. Every time I'm here, I love the city.
You'd say –
I'd say, you're lying. You came here because of 5 years. I look at Kyle Schwarber completely differently than Paul George, and they both got 5-year contracts.
Okay, but again, you're overthinking this. He demanded 5 years. If the Phillies didn't go 5 years, he wasn't going to be back. He wasn't taking 4. So if the other teams came with 5 years, he was not taking 4.
I'm just saying, like, I don't roll my eyes at
wait a minute.
I don't roll my eyes at what he's saying about the city and how much he loves it here.
I believe he loves this, but he was walking away if he didn't get 5 years. He wouldn't have said, well, you guys are offering 4 years. They're offering 5. He was demanding 5 years. So he got 5 years. He was walking away if they didn't go to 5 years. So all the love of the fans would have been, I love you, Philly fans, but I'm leaving because I didn't get what I wanted. That's the bottom line. I believe everything he said. He's genuine. But he would have walked away.
So the argument is that he doesn't love Phillies fans as much as he says? Like, I don't understand.
The argument is that the reason he's back is because he got what he wanted in the contract, not because of the fans.
But two things can be true at once.
No, but he didn't. It's not the decision. The fans did not make the decision for him. The contract did.
I know, but I'm just like,
He didn't go, it's the fans, man. I got to come back for the fans because he got what he wanted in the demands of the contract. The contract got what he wanted. If the Phillies did not go to 5 years, he wasn't coming back. He was leaving.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm being lied to when he's saying, like...
I didn't say you're being lied to. Why are you making an argument that's not existing?
It sounds like how you're framing it.
No, it's not. So then don't keep saying that. I'm not saying that.
Don, we're just responding to what you're saying.
He loves the Phillies. He loves the fans. But he was not coming back if he didn't get 5 years. So when he tells you when he says he loves the fans here, he does.
Yes.
But he would have been saying it as an exit interview. He would have been saying, I love the Philly fans. You guys were the best. But if the Phillies didn't ante up the 5th year, he was gone. It wouldn't have come into play. His demands were 5 years. So it's not like, yeah, I'm going to choose the Philly fans. I choose the Philly fans. No, he chose the 5th year because that was his demand. It had nothing to do with us. It had to do with the 5th year. He loves us, and I believe he loves us.
Yes.
I believe he loves being here. But the demands of the contract were what he was making his decision
And
on.
I'm glad he got
Not
his,
us.
I'm glad he got his contract.
By the way, you're glad he got it. I'm not. Because I think this organization is heading to trouble. Is heading to trouble. And Connor, we didn't tell him this morning, did we?
No.
He's keeping post-show headlines from yesterday.
Yeah, he basically said it could be a disaster this year.
I think the disaster could begin this year. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to rue the day. We're going to look back on this offseason, especially if they bring back Real Muto too. We're going to look back on this offseason and we're going to say this was the beginning of the problems for the Phillies, especially when the lockout happens and the salary cap happens, and then we go, wait a minute. We're saddled with some really horrible contracts that nobody in Major League Baseball is going to take off your hands.
Look, as long as it's only 2 years for Real Muto, I'm in.
Yeah,
It's
like-
just I'm not doing 3.
Yeah, if you give him 3, then we'll be upset
There was a
with you.
time when people were saying you could get, oh, well, Schwarber go 3. Well, you give him 4. Then it was like, well, you got to
Wow.
give him 5.
JT
or
didn't-
he's walking.
JT wasn't runner-up to that LMVP this
I
year.
got you.
Right.
But
All
there's
right.
more. It's more old.
Coming up next, there have been more and more positives for the Eagles after their 3rd straight loss. There's been a lot of love for the Eagles offense from the tape study people. Almost ignore the 4 interceptions. It's how the offense looked. Hear one longtime NFL analyst on it, Nick Sirianni on it, and then we want your reaction to it at 610-632-0975. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Not the best from Jalen and AJ. I'm Connor Thomas, and if you watch Monday Night Football, you know that it was not Jalen and AJ's best game against the Chargers. The Eagles have dropped 3 straight, and Nick Sirianni talked about how those performances on Monday night were more uncharacteristic than anything else.
You know, never want the turnovers, but he did some really good things. I think there's a lot of good things on offense. You know, we were able to move the football against a really good defense. Now, we didn't finish drives, and we turned the ball over, but there was a lot to be encouraged by.
So the head coach is taking positives. We're going to be talking about that in the coming hour. Other people are as well, but unfortunately, doesn't help you in the win column. The Eagles have to figure out how to find a way to be on the right side of the scoreboard when they face the Raiders on Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Link. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Flyers are back on the ice tonight as they have their own matchup with Vegas. Puck drop against the Golden Knights is at 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. The Sixers are off again. They're going to be back in action tomorrow night. Jeremy Fowler joins us coming up at 8:55 for the latest on the Birds. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs come with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to do our Wawa run, where we each give an item that we are ordering, and then at the end of the hour, we'll ask you to remember all three for your chance to win the $50 gift card to Wawa. But right now, on the text line, 610-632-0975, we have four packs of Temple basketball tickets. So the first four people that want them, text the word OWLS to 610-632-0975. And the first four people that text OWLS will win a 4-pack of tickets to see Temple take on St. Francis this Sunday, December 14th at the Lee Course Center. Get your tickets now at TUOwlstix.com. Greg Cosell has been covering the NFL for quite some time now.
Excellent.
He's tremendous at it. He has come away from Monday night's game almost encouraged about the Eagles' offense, and he's not alone. Remember, we played the audio earlier this week from Dan Orlovsky when he was on the Pat McAfee show, and he said, look, the interceptions aside, which I know it's hard to ignore how bad Jalen Hurts was on Monday, he liked some of the concepts. There are other film review people that post all the clips all over social media that loved what they saw out of the Eagles' offense. That Solak from ESPN.
Ben Solak.
Loved what the Eagles did on offense. Obviously, the 4 interceptions was really bad, right?
Yes, except for the shooting, Mrs. Lincoln.
Right. How was the play?
How'd you like the play?
Here was Greg Cosell sort of reviewing what he saw from the tape after Monday night's loss to the Chargers.
A lot of really diverse concepts. Things that, I see that teams run in the league that the Eagles have not really run this year. 4 strong concepts. They had flood concepts. They had concepts. They had concepts that present defined reads and throws for the quarterback. It was the best game of the season in terms of what they did in the pass game from a concept standpoint. It's easy after the fact because of 4 turnovers to say he played poorly. And I think we accept that he'll miss a few things, just that he doesn't throw it. That's just who he is. That part of who he is will not change at this point in his career. I actually did not think he played badly. It's easy to say, people listening might think, what are you, out of your mind? And it's easy after the fact to say that. But, I thought the 28-yard throw he made to Smith in overtime was his best throw of the season. Most pass games, when you watch a pass game that's good, it's a combination of the concepts and the quarterback executing the concepts. We tend to look at, the quarterback played great if he completes balls. But a lot of times those balls are completed because the concepts present clean, defined throws just about any NFL quarterback theoretically could make. So there's always some plays where you go, wow, that's a great throw, no matter who it is, whether it's, the guys we think of as great, the Mahomes, the Allens, the Burrows. But, there's a lot of times, where it's defined for the quarterback and pretty much any NFL quarterback could make those throws. So it's always a combination of the pass game concepts and the quarterback. And in this game, because there were pass game concepts that were really NFL concepts, Hurts made some throws.
Man, I said concepts. He said that a lot.
By the way, last week he was the one who was very, very critical of the job that was being done by the offensive coordinator.
Right.
He's a very honest guy.
Yeah, he is.
And his eyeballs are very just, what do you see?
Now, one takeaway, you hear him basically say there are things to Jalen Hurts' game that he's just not going to be able to do. And so that goes back to the conversations that we've had with numerous people. Is the offense the way the offense is because Jalen Hurts can't do certain things? And, that goes back to his ability to carry the team. And, we can talk about that every single day if we want to, but we don't want to talk about it every single day. But I wonder, when you hear Greg Cosell and you've heard Dan Orlovsky earlier this week talk about how, look, they did some different things. And we've been complaining all season long that the offense has been predictable. It's been, you've talked about the Marple Newtown Tigers.
Yeah, the Marple Newtown Tigers. I mean,
they've done more creative things.
I think they probably have.
Is there
not as good as O'Hara?
Is there a little bit of hope for you that you hear him say that they did different things in week 1 of Nick Sirianni being more involved?
Sure. Because they probably said, we can't have any more of this garbage.
Yeah.
You got to be different. We're going to do something different.
Now it's up to the quarterback to execute it.
But if they're doing things differently, and the quarterback can't execute what they want to do differently,
a whole other conversation, man.
then what happens?
Yeah, then what happens?
Then what happens? And again, it all goes back to they were doing things earlier in the year, and it wasn't beautiful, and it wasn't, but they were beating really, really good teams and finding a way to win games, spreading the ball around and winning. But, hey, AJ's getting his yards, so it's all right. We're not getting any more subtext tweets and
You love the strays. AJ catches strays every day.
Yeah, I'm glad he catches strays because he wasn't catching a lot on Monday night.
You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, BZ Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. So that's a film reviewer, right? No bias, no nothing like that. Here was Nick Sirianni yesterday talking about more explosive plays that they've had considering Monday night versus other games this year.
Thought there were some things to be encouraged, and obviously we got to, again, we thought we were explosive as an off. We were more explosive than, we won the explosive play battle, I guess is what I'm saying. But you just got to win that turnover battle, and we got to finish drives to get to see the full array of what we want to be on offense.
Now, to see the full array, like
It's December the freaking 11th.
Right. Like, I feel like we should know by now,
for God's
what
sakes.
we are. I get what he's saying. Like, look, we can't turn the football over on the 30-yard line because then you don't see what our red zone offense is, which, to their credit, has been very good this year. But it's December 11th. Like, yesterday was December 10th when he said that. It goes back to this identity. Jalen Hurts last week said, we don't know the identity yet. Kevin Patullo said it 2 weeks ago that they don't know the identity yet. And that disguised looks, the pre-scouted looks were not what's actually been shown in the game. Like, that means you're just missing on everything up until this point of the season. And I don't think it's going to all of a sudden change. But I just wonder, are we going to see a whole new looking offense, which goes against what Kurt Warner said to us last week, that you can't really do it. But honestly, if you're desperate enough, and what Nick Foles has talked about on his podcast, they needed to do it because he could not run Carson's offense. Maybe Jalen can't run the offense they've been trying to run this year.
And in Nick Foles' case, as he made the case, I respect the hell out of Kurt Warner. It was a great conversation.
Yes.
But Doug Peterson and them, they did it in 13 days. They did it in 13 days. They totally changed the offense for Nick Foles heading into the playoffs in 2017.
Now, it's not like they changed it to some complex. Like,
well, they changed
it. It was the RPO, right?
But it was a drastic change.
It is, because the offensive linemen have to be all on the same page.
It was a completely drastic change. And they had 13 days to do it. Now, it was Doug Peterson, Frank Reich, and Nick Foles. 3 NFL quarterbacks doing it.
Sure.
Not a guy from Mount Union, a guy who is a longtime assistant, and, Jalen Hurts. It's like Jalen Hurts is sitting at their room going, if Jalen Hurts was sitting in a room with Doug Peterson and Frank Reich, all of them would go, remember when we started those big games in college? Remember when we played in those games in the NFL? The 3 of them are talking as quarterbacks, and the conversation is of a different level. Jalen Hurts is sitting in the room with 2 guys that can't have that conversation with him.
Hey, Kevin Patullo, believe it or not, attempted 25 passes.
That's great.
When he played for South Florida.
Yeah.
He was both a quarterback and wide receiver in South Florida.
In other words, Jalen Hurts can't have those conversations with Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo.
His final line in college, 15 of 25, 60% completion percentage. It's not bad. 24 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. All right, coming up next. Oh, wait, no, it's only 8-4. I'm sorry. Give us a text message there, Connor.
You want to go to break?
Well, I'm so excited for today's headlines with Connor Thomas that I wanted to get to it earlier.
I would be too, because we've got a hell of a story that might be the entire segment.
Dude, it's
crazy.
What happened yesterday? It's sad. Unless you're living under a rock, you know what we're going to talk about. Go ahead.
What, did something happen in Michigan? This texter says that this is insane. Sorry, that's one we read already. Norm from Mayfair. The Super Bowls were great. You celebrate, you go to a parade, but the collapses stick with you more. I'm now pissed about it over and over again. Devastating.
See, but that's the thing. Like, the best comparison I can give is 07 to 11. I look back at that, and maybe it's because I was 14. Maybe maybe it was the childhood years that adds to my love affair with that baseball team. I don't look back almost 20 years later saying, damn, they only won 1. I'm happy that they won 1. because I'm watching a current regime where we would all beg for them to win one. Like, this regime will be more disappointing than the 07-11 squad. I'm talking about the Phillies. So that's why I look back more at the happy times than the negative.
Well, this will be Tom Brady, I found a quote from Tom Brady that you never get as much satisfaction out of meeting expectations as you do the anguish over not meeting expectations.
Yeah.
When you meet expectations, when you do what you think you're supposed to do, when you go and win a championship, when you go win, when you know you've got the talent, you know you've got the team, you know you're there, and you meet expectations. The anguish of falling short and failing when you know you have all the things in your favor and you don't meet it is much more to him. He's like, that's much more anguish.
It's like the Philly Maze that I told you, Max Talenti. He said, I feel more pain after a big loss than the satisfaction after a big win. And I think that's a very human feeling, right?
Right.
But there are some people that aren't that way, which is why today is an emotional intelligence stare into your soul Thursday. And we have a lot of topics regarding the Eagles and who you are as a person. It's a deep Thursday, John. Coming up next, today's headlines. Oh, boy, was there a big story yesterday. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
She does not need another practical gift. If you're getting her a gift that's a gadget for the house or something that is for use for the entire family, that's not what you should be thinking about. You should be thinking about something from Benari Jewelers. Just an idea. Something that is just for her. Santa Claus got in touch with me, and he said, you've been a lousy gift giver. You need to think of something that's just for her, something she can wear every day, or something she can wear when she's heading out for date night, or that special wedding or holiday party. Diamond stud earrings may do the trick. How about a pendant necklace or maybe a tennis bracelet? Anything with colored gemstones on it, it may be exactly what she wants. Benari has pieces that fit every part of her life. Beautiful, elegant pieces. And designer, one-of-a-kind creations that she's not going to find anywhere else. Where she'll find them? Exton and Newtown Square. Well, where she's going to find them is under the tree because you are going to visit Benari Jewelers online at BenariJewelers.com. Then you're going to go to Exton or Newtown Square, and you're going to meet their friendly team of associates. Guys, I don't know anything more about jewelry than you do, but the team at Benari Jewelers always helps me through the process. They're approachable, they're very hospitable, they are not intimidating, and they always know exactly what I'm looking to spend, what I'm looking to get her, and then that signature yellow box always brings a smile to her face. 2 great locations, Exton and Newtown Square. And there's still time to do it because Santa, you got 2 weeks to go. So get down to business. Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. Tell them John Kincade sent you in.
Philadelphia.
Weekdays.com.
It is 8:11 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Trying to think about it like deep thought questions. Are you more of a happy with what you have guy or always wanting more guy?
Happy with what I have. Easy.
I think I am that way too. Now, I always strive for more success, like in work.
Right.
But, like, I don't look around my house going, what can I add next?
You're in different parts of life.
I'm very, like, I'm good.
See, now, when I was your age, I could not answer that question the way you guys did.
Interesting.
When I was your age, I did not answer the question the way you just did. And when I answer the question today, I absolutely answer it the way you did.
Okay. That's interesting.
But when I was your age, I absolutely did not. I did not. I was that's one of the reasons why my mom would always say to me, have my feet firmly planted in today. I constantly was thinking about what I would get next, what I would do next.
Yeah, you've talked about the car. You told me the car story.
Yes, and I would always be worried about what I was going to do next.
I'm
or
curious,
what I was going to have
YouTube,
next.
are you a you happy with what you got, or you always wanting some more?
I'm in a fight with my mom right now, telling her not to get me stuff for Christmas.
Bro, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Please.
Like, I'm not trying to sound like the best dad of the world, your award, but, like, my mom keeps on saying, hey, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I just want Coop to be happy. I want Santa to bring him everything he wants. And I want to celebrate Christmas with my family. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
See, I was Connor when I was your age, not you.
Okay.
I wasn't married. I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have anything. And I was hyper ambitious, like to a point of it was, I don't know why I was as much as I was.
I mean, it's like you said, it's different stages of life.
But I was hyper ambitious. So, and I wish I wasn't. It's like, as you look back and you go, you didn't need to be that much.
Right.
But it was.
All right. Well, somebody always could want more in life, including the former head coach of the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, jeez.
How about that for a transition? Time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Brought to us by who?
Our friends over at Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit lundylaw.com. That's lundylaw.com. I think we all know somebody who might make a call today.
All right, I'm gonna start off by saying this first and foremost before we continue. I really hope he gets the help he needs. Clearly. But go ahead, tell the story of Sharon Wright from yesterday.
Sharon Moore.
Sharon Wright playing the NBA. Sorry,
Sharon Moore.
Do you just have weird
Was he a
NBA
process
players?
guy? I don't even know.
All right.
I think he was.
Oh,
no. He played for the Sixers in the 90s.
Okay,
sorry.
So Sharon Moore was relieved of his duties as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team yesterday. And sometimes when you see coaches fired in college football, it's just like you're going your separate ways.
Yeah.
But the report from Michigan themselves was he was fired with cause because of an inappropriate relation with a staff member.
Yes.
And that turned into a situation where now everybody on social media is going back digging up old tweets. It turns out that it was a cheating situation, apparently, and then they're turned into a legal issue as a result of his reaction to it. It's just gone off the rails for Michigan.
A breaking and entering.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, when the story first comes out, you're like, oh, my God, like, I can't wait to follow this. And then it progressed, and now you're like, uh-oh. Like, there's lives that are at stake.
He snapped. This is a man with a wife, 4 children, including one in diapers.
Yeah. It's horrible. No, he's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
You do that to your family.
That's a bad dude. I got somebody in here. And then I had Shannon Sharp this morning doing a podcast comparing it to, he goes, look, you know, if you're speeding, we all speed. And he goes, and if you speed, you wouldn't do it if you knew you were going to get caught. And I'm like, he's comparing it to speeding.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare those two things,
dope.
Club Shay Shay. No, like those are two things I wouldn't compare.
Oh my God!
I know we all try to relate to situations. Like it's
not to that one. You don't.
It's a very human thing to do. Like when you're when somebody's going through tough times and you're talking to them, and like I think it's almost natural for sometimes people to be like, yeah, you know, this is how I dealt with this situation. But like there's some situations to the point that you can't like.
See, I don't try to relate to more at all. I try to relate to his poor wife.
Right.
And his poor children, who now, like, their lives have just been uprooted and destroyed.
Yeah, because
and all the
this
kids.
is a story.
Yeah, that's who I try to relate
It's
to.
like the Brady roast, right? Like Brady goes, oh man, I probably shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you didn't think that
$10 million. He didn't mind the $10 million check.
Like you didn't think that this would, cause some problems with your kids. Like, I don't know. It's rough. It was a wild story yesterday that quickly turned dark because you start worrying about the health and safety of him, and also the woman that he had the affair with, obviously his wife as well. It became a pretty scary story quickly.
And on top of all of that, just to bring it back to sports, now Michigan is late to the hiring cycle in college football for a premier program, so they're trying to figure out their situation. It is a complete mess up there.
Well, it's been a mess there for a while because he had the Harbaugh stuff going on too.
Well, no, and remember, he was
Connor Stallions,
and he was part of that.
Yeah, the Harbaugh stuff is.
But Moore was part of it.
The Harbaugh stuff is nothing in comparison to this. They won because of that. This is not exactly the same. Speaking of winning, the tired take right now is the Dodgers are ruining baseball. The wired take might be that the NBA season is over already, too.
What that semifinal in the West will look like. Two great young coaches. Mark Daigneault, as good as it gets. One of the best head coaches and one of the best GMs, and clearly the number one organization in pro basketball.
Look, we are at History Watch. I know it's hard to win 73 freaking basketball games in the season, which is what the 2015-16 Warriors did with a damn super team. But
correct.
This is a team that's been together for many years and are already champions. And it's hard to – look, how many times have we talked about the year – look what the Eagles are going through right now, the year after winning. You have to still be in that mentality of we're still the champs. We have to strive to be the champs. Instead of doing the whole, that was last year's team. The Thunder are like, no, we're going to do even better. We're going to be better than last year's team. And we're now on, what are they, 24-1?
24-1, tying the Golden State Warriors for the best record to start a season in NBA history.
Yeah, we're on History Watch. Like, as long as everybody stays healthy, you don't, like, that team's not going to, that team will not have, like, a 3-game losing streak this season, right? Maybe there's a back-to-back.
Not without an injury.
No, right,
not
exactly, as long
injury.
as they're healthy. Like, we're on History Watch at this point of the season.
Yeah, so.
And you know that the NBA offices are going, damn, because Oklahoma City doesn't move the needle the same way that in New York or in L.A. was, and that's what they wanted.
And, by the way, they have more draft picks under control.
Oh, yes.
Because their process
They have the Clippers
works.
pick this. They have the Clippers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how many picks they still
their
have.
process wasn't the same process, too. It was quick.
Well, because players hit quicker.
Yeah, they hit quicker.
It was quick.
But
They didn't have to lose for 5 years in a row.
They have the Sixers pick.
They have the Clippers, right?
Which is protected 1 through 4, which I imagine the Sixers will not have a top 4 pick.
Right.
They have their own pick. They have Utah's pick.
Oh my gosh.
Which is protected 1 through 8, which they might not get that. But right now,
No, I think it could be. Utah could fall off. Could, but I don't think so. Not 8. They'd have to really fall. Man, that's bad.
Yeah, they're 8-15, the Jazz.
But that's I don't know. That could happen.
They could be.
They're going to be a lot. They're going to be a lottery
Oh my gosh,
team.
that's
It's a Jazz
terrible.
thing. They're going to be a lottery team.
So the East might be open, but the NBA is not.
The NBA is not. The Eastern Conference Championship is like it's the real
ram.
championship. All right, coming up next, we'll check more text messages. Also, what is the latest drama with the Eagles? It involves Jalen Hurts, and this is why last week was a must-win game. Because when they lose their third straight game, there's more whispers. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is Thursday, which means we have another Thursday night game. Is this the last Thursday night game of the season? Oh, yeah, Rams-Seattle. That's right. So second to last Thursday night of the season. We have Falcons and Bucks, so another divisional matchup. And FanDuel always does it right on Thursday. They have the Thursday touchdown jackpot where you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get on tonight's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, not only will you win your anytime touchdown bet, you'll also earn a share of bonus bets. So here's the deal. I'm in my fantasy football playoffs. So I'm going to try to put money down on behalf of my fantasy football team. I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson for an anytime touchdown because I would like him to score a touchdown for my fantasy team's purposes. Does that make sense? Not a bad bet to make, by the way. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic. That's FanDuel.com/Fanatic for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania, opt-in, must apply profit boost token. All in select market, prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-troll bonus bets expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Some positives from the loss. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's not exactly what Eagles fans want to hear after their team has dropped 3 straight football games. But Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday, and he did talk about some actual positives from the matchup with the Chargers on Monday night.
Never want the turnovers, but he did some really good things. I think there's a lot of good things on offense. We were able to move the football against a really good defense. Now, we didn't finish drives, and we turned the ball over, but there was a lot to be encouraged by.
Well, they need that encouragement in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, and also with neither Jalen Carter or Lane Johnson returning to practice yesterday, even though it was a walkthrough, so the injury report was an estimation. But the Birds could get things right on Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders, a 1 p.m. kickoff from Lincoln Financial Field against one of the worst teams in football. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Flyers have a matchup with Vegas as well. They'll be playing the Golden Knights tonight at 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sixers are off again. They're going to be back in action tomorrow night. Jeremy Fowler joins us coming up at 8:55 for the latest on the national perspective on the Eagles. This update's brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tullamore Dew, when it's game time, it's Tully time. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 8:27 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, before we get to the latest whispers and drama with the Philadelphia Eagles, I love our YouTube chat because, sometimes they talk about the show, sometimes they don't. I see
they can go off the rails into stuff that you never even you'll be like, how did they get there?
And that's why there's some days where they go, how come you're not reading us? I go, because I'm distracted.
Exactly.
So during the break, I saw that there's a couple people saying that they want to square off in chess. I don't even know how they got to that conversation, but I'm going to give them a suggestion.
What?
They don't have to get together.
Have a chess
online
tournament.
chess.
Go to chess.com, and you can invite each other. So what I think our YouTube crew should do is have a chess tournament. We can't participate. I got to focus on the show.
Yeah.
But during the show...
No, you can't do it during the show. It's too distracting.
No, you open up a separate window.
No, because there's time. Chess is timed.
All right, they're listening to the show. You can play the audio from one window and play the chess together.
Are you speaking as someone who hasn't played chess?
I've played chess before.
Okay. Have you played chess well?
No.
Okay. You have to really think in chess. It ain't checkers. Like to me, or maybe I'm just not that great at it, but I really have to concentrate when I play chess.
Yeah.
I can't have. How about this? When I've ever played chess, and I haven't played chess in a long time, I couldn't have the TV on. Like, you know how sometimes you're playing? I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just move the little horses all around until you get the tall guy.
So I'm saying, I think our YouTube chat should set up a tournament of their own.
Connor, I would imagine that you have played chess in your day.
I played a lot of chess, yeah.
Did you enjoy chess?
No, I hate it.
You hate it. Why did you hate it?
It's numbers adjacent. It's too strategic for me. I'm not a strategy guy.
Now, the weird thing is that you're not a strategy guy.
Nope.
He's a vibes guy.
Nope.
No, but I do.
Connor's a vibes guy.
The funny thing is I do consider you strategic because I've watched games with Connor. I have talked about games at length with Connor.
I've seen him miserable.
You could bring up.
games.
Yeah, but the thing is, but you could bring up. You could bring up the morning after a game something with Connor, and he could give you a 2.5-minute diatribe on all the different intricacies
but
of
during
all
the
the
game,
things.
I'm good
emotional.
I'm good at reading people, emotions, and the feel of a situation. I am not good when they're just wooden pieces on a board. I don't know if my rook's feeling good. Can you go get the queen right now,
Connor is
buddy?
good at. You are good at reading people, which is absolutely my worst life skill.
Does the Eagles offense play chess, or do they just play checkers? They're clearly checkers.
No, they couldn't play freaking Candyland.
So yesterday, Zach Berman was on with Johnny Marks, Middays with Marks.
Fantastic, Zach Berman.
And
get his book for Christmas, by the way.
Yes, he's doing a signing at the PJP in the Great Northeast.
Northeast,
soon.
really?
I just drove by it yesterday when I was doing my errands. Zach Berman, here he is talking about Jalen Hurts. One of the newer stories as of last week or 2 weeks ago was the hesitation to run from Jalen Hurts. Here's Zach Berman talking about Jalen Hurts and the ability to run.
Part of what makes Jalen special is his running ability. The fact that he's not running enough or often is, I think that's part of what's holding the offense back. And I think that is a flip a switch that the offense could use. And I said the same thing last week, and you didn't see it enough. And I know he had one positive run that was taken off the board because of a holding penalty on Juergens. But like for this offense to get to where it needs to be, Jalen needs to run.
He needs to run. Now the question is, have they asked him? Again, there's a reason why a story like this comes out. All right, this story doesn't just come out because I think it was Jimmy Kempski who was one of the first ones to report on it.
He was one of the first ones saying it.
I don't think Jimmy heard this in August and sat on it until December. Right?
Somebody started
whispering.
I wonder who that was.
And remember,
what would you think?
I don't know. Maybe the coaching staff?
That's what I'm wondering.
When last week when Jalen was asked about it, remember, you and I disagreed on how he went about answering the question, but when he was like, where's this coming from? It almost to me felt like, here we go, another.
But he knew it was real.
Right, he did.
You could tell the fact that he wanted to know where it was coming from. Knows that it was real.
But I think he's bothered by it getting out, which I don't blame him. Right, like you want to try to keep everything as in-house as possible, unless you're strategically letting information out. So maybe they've asked him to run the football more. I don't know. Our old buddy Jeff McClain. On his podcast, Uncovering the Birds.
Who we miss, Jeff.
Dropped this little nugget on the Eagles.
For the first time, I'm just like, okay, maybe this is something to give him a break or to send a message to Jalen, because there's other stuff happening, I know, behind the scenes that quite possibly could leave someone to believe that he's not listening. And then you look at this, and you look at this, the scheme and the game, the play calling, and look, I'm not trying to absolve Nick Sirianni and Kevin Petula and all this, and we'll get to them and the scheme and the play calling and some of the changes that were made there. But this whole notion that they only know 5 plays, it's like the playbook is large, and these guys had Philip Rivers, who's in the news for another reason. They had him at their disposal for years. Like, they know how to run an NFL passing offense.
Wait a minute.
It sounds very from the coach, by the way.
That does, doesn't it? That sound well. More importantly, though,
we had Philip Rivers at one point.
More importantly, that sounds like it's directly. But more importantly, that sounds like a total 180 from like the last time Jeff was on with us.
Yeah, he addressed it. He addressed it on his podcast.
Okay, so how was it addressed? He's got new information.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that's that's like a complete 180.
He spoke and without saying sorry, kind of apologized to D Gunn and Diana Rossini on his podcast a couple days after he joined.
Because that's like a complete 180.
Yes, it is, and maybe he's getting more information.
And by the way, I respect the hell out of Jeff McClain for because we all in this business, when a microphone's on, we all say things or have an opinion on things that sometimes we're wrong about, and that I respect the hell out of Jeff McClain for correcting the record if he did.
Sure.
Great. But that's a complete 180 for Jeff, the messaging, than what was last time he was with us.
Yeah.
And we miss Jeff. We miss Jeff.
But ultimately, when he's reporting, he might not be listening, to me, this is coming from somebody.
No, it's coming from the coaching staff.
Right.
That's right from the coaching staff.
When last week...
Who would he not be listening to?
When last week it was... out of nowhere, during the summer, he informed them that he didn't want to run the football as much.
Where's that coming from? Because, first of all, if Jalen didn't want to do those things, who is he telling? He's not telling his teammate. He's telling the coaches. He's telling the guys who make the game plan up. Right? So then if Jeff gets that information or anybody gets that information, it has to be coming from the people that Jalen told directly.
Right.
So it's a member of the coaching staff.
Yeah, somebody's whispering.
So somebody was getting pissed off that they were taking too many bullets.
Right.
And that Jalen Hurts wasn't getting enough critique. So they got pissed. So they start feeding information to the press corps.
And look, the information I imagine is accurate. But again, I sometimes I think it's bad practice that.
Yes.
And again, I stand by what I said last week. When somebody was asking Jalen the question about the report, it almost felt like,
well, when he said, where's this coming from?
Where's this coming from?
Because he wants to know where the leak is. And I would tell you, it has to come from Nick Sirianni, Kevin Petula.
Kind of feels that way.
It has to.
Yeah.
And to me, I guarantee you, from the reputation that Jeff McClain has within the community of people that he works with in the industry, Jeff McClain then probably went, let me verify it here. Let me verify it here. Let me check around. He doesn't just run with one thing.
Right.
He's verifying.
Right.
So that's quite eye-opening.
It is eye-opening.
That's ear-opening. And everybody should check out Jeff's podcast because
absolutely.
I consider it one of the best out there.
But it's damning toward Hurts.
It is.
Or it's just another 2023 situation where when last week I said it was a must-win game, not because of the mathematical equations of making the playoffs, but because I don't want this team crumbling, we already popped the positivity bunny, and now there's whispers coming out about how Jalen's not listening to the coaching staff.
It is interesting, though. Jeff knows, we agree, Jeff knows so much more about the Eagles than we do.
Yeah, he's in there every day.
Correct. Our man, Andrew DiCecco, knows so much more, but being as far as what's going on inside that locker room.
Yeah.
Like so much more than we do. They're there every day. And every one of us was trying to say, it's a lot like 2023.
Yeah, feels like
it's a lot like 2023. And every single one of them was like, nope, nope, nope. And now it seems like everybody's like, yep, yep, yep. I'm like, welcome to the party.
Because they're hearing more.
No,
That's it. Look, that's
the thing is, what they were getting bad information. They were believing bad information.
Well, because players were probably saying.
And they were buying into bad information.
You take coaches at their word.
I know. But the thing is, sometimes you got to sift through BS. You got to sift through BS, especially based on previous BS that you've seen. I think it was easy to see that we were heading down the path of 2023.
And hopefully it changes soon. And maybe that's why they're leaking information all of a sudden.
Correct. All the leakers.
All right, coming up next, believe it or not, we're going to shock the world, John. We're going to talk positively about the Eagles.
Good.
Because there is something about
from you two, I'm surprised.
There is something positive. It's not a rabbit. It's not a positivity bunny. But we got to point out a player that's having maybe an all-pro season. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic.
Somebody in your community needs your help, and you may not even know them because they're trying to battle back after addiction. It's taken a lot away from them, and they need your help. And you can help with the help of the Salvation Army. And you think of the Salvation Army, and you think of big red buckets, and you think of bells, and you think that's just the way, toss in a couple bucks and be on your merry way. The Salvation Army helps in other ways, too. You could donate a vehicle, like a car, a truck, or a boat, or a motorcycle, or an RV that you're not using anymore that's on the property at your home or maybe your business. And the Salvation Army uses that vehicle to help someone else rebuild their life, to discover hope again, to find stability. And they've been doing this for nearly 150 years. Your kindness, with the help of the Salvation Army, will help make this process possible. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or go to satruck.org. Schedule the pickup. They're going to come right to your home or your business. They're going to tow the vehicle at no charge. They're going to give you an IRS-approved receipt. And that used vehicle in your driveway will be turned into something that is going to help turn someone else's life around. You're going to love it because you're going to feel better knowing, yeah, that thing that's been sitting around, well, it's helping somebody this holiday season. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org and help the Salvation Army continue to do the most good.
PhiladelphiaSports.com.
All right, before we talk about a potential all-pro season for a member of the Philadelphia Eagles defense, because nobody on offense, two things. One, shout out to Cooper Salciunas, who made his radio debut yesterday.
His radio debut? Wait, don't tell me. He went and got a job already?
Yes, he did, and he's already better than me.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
We're doing the season's greetings.
Yes.
And I have a microphone at home, and I was like, you know what? I want to get my son involved in it.
That's a good idea.
And it aired for the first time yesterday during Unfiltered. And, man, hearing his voice, it brought a tear to my eye.
And he was loving that?
Oh, yeah. I played it for him in the car, just off my phone, pretending like it was on the radio. Smiled ear to ear.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it was cool. So
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I know you did that stuff with Liv when she was a kid. So
She would
that's
sing
really cool.
The one of the other shows on our station down in the South was Chuck and Chernoff.
Okay.
And they had a theme song. This crazy jingle theme song
How come we don't have a theme
to their show.
Come on, Connor.
I think it'd be funny. I don't know that Scott would love it, but they had it's a stupid jingle theme song, and they would have guest singers sing it.
Come on, Connor.
And Liv sang
make a
it,
jingle.
and she and they used to always, and they still play it.
That's awesome.
They still play her singing it as like when she was like 10 or 12.
That's wonderful.
And they still play it.
It might be your last name's fault why we don't have a jingle. I feel like Salciunas might be tough to fit in a jingle
Dude,
somewhere.
people have called me 75 different things since
And
I
what
started
do you
working here. I
and
don't
what do you
care.
rhyme it with?
Yeah.
What do you rhyme Salciunas with?
Somebody called me Ballsack Tunis once on this station. Like whatever you want to call me, just get it going.
Let's leave that one in the drafts.
One more thing. Let me ask you guys something.
Okay.
The lost art of the Christmas card. I don't. We did it twice when Cooper was born, like the family
Okay.
photo. Why don't we do that anymore?
We still do it.
Yeah, no, but like I mean, like as a society, like I feel like it's plumb.
I don't. I think it's
social media because you can.
See, I don't. Now it's weird is that we had the discussion of going. I'll be honest. I said to my wife, I said, "Why are we still doing this?"
Well, I'm anti-cards.
My daughter's working for a living. She has a job. She doesn't live with us.
Like my wife gives me a birthday card almost every year, and I'm like,
you don't like cards?
No.
Really?
What am I going to do with this? It's a piece of paper. I usually put it on my nightstand. I think I have a birthday card from 4 years ago
You know
on
what?
my nightstand still.
You know what? I got to guess what though. Does your wife like cards?
She's indifferent too.
Okay. Does she like cards or
She's
not?
more of a. She likes to give the card.
Okay. Well, if she likes to give the card, that means she wants you to read it and care about it. That means she wants you to read and care about it. So,
Tommy John, Christmas card, I take them and throw them directly in the trash.
see, we have this hanging thing on one of the doors, on like the door to the pantry or something.
Sure.
And it has Merry Christmas and everything. And then all of our friends'
I
picture
have,
cards, we hang them on there.
I put some on the fridge with the magnet. Like
Yeah.
I got
something like that.
I got some from
Yeah.
you met Dave and Kate down in Florida.
Oh, they're a fun couple.
You know, they sent with their two dogs.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
And so it's on the fridge, and
They're
it'll
a
be
fun
there till
couple.
like January 1st, and then it's.
I don't understand why
know.
we're, like I say, I don't understand why we're doing it when we have a 21-year-old who lives on her own who.
We still do it. My mom makes us take the picture every year. So
You still do it. It's like
Yeah.
it's a crazy thing.
but I don't tell anybody my address, so I don't get any.
There you go. Andrew Ellis is helping you. Andrew Chunis. Sometimes his takes are complete poonis. It's not bad.
That's a great jingle.
That's not bad.
Do you want
I
that
don't think,
attached to your
I
name?
don't think Scott will go with that one. Yeah, I don't think
It's
that
not
one's gonna
bad. It's
make
not
it.
bad.
It's not bad.
All right.
Andrew won yesterday too, didn't he? He won a prize yesterday.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he won the $50.
There you go.
We haven't done our Wawa
Yes,
order.
come on.
What, this is just me?
Yes.
And no reminder from the producer.
No reminder
I
from
forgot.
who drives this bus? Who's driving the bus?
Yeah, sometimes I need a guy in the back seat making sure I'm not falling asleep.
I used to get yelled at when I talked to the
I
bus
like
driver.
it. You want me to give you mine?
Yes.
I'll give you mine.
We can do
Easy.
this within the 8 o'clock hour still.
I'll give it easy, mine. How about some, some just you're feeling it in the morning. Go on over and get some of those Tasty Cake powdered sugar mini donuts.
Oh, dude, that's a good item.
They're great. You have to be in a special mood for them, but
Yeah,
they
and you
are
probably
awesome.
don't want to eat them going to work because then you got the powdered
Then you
sugar.
got the powdered
on
sugar
it.
on.
All right, so we're gonna give our 3 orders.
Connor can give one before the end of the segment.
Yeah, by the end of the 8 o'clock hour.
There you go. We'll get it
for
done.
your $50 gift card to Wawa. So
Happy
John,
Wawa days.
John
Get
gave
into
his.
Wawa. Get your gift cards. You know you got to get them anyway. Get your lottery tickets there, too. If Santa brings lottery tickets in your stocking,
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
that.
Yeah, we do that. Happy Quinyon Mitchell days or happy
Oh, my
Quinyon
gosh.
Mitchell career.
He's unbelievable.
You sent me
boys.
some crazy numbers.
It's crazy. And
I don't think because the offense has been such a negative story we have not highlighted some of the positives enough, but I get it. Like, we have a job to do. Quinyon Mitchell could be if not first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro corner this year.
Why wouldn't he be first team is what I'm going to ask, because he has not allowed a single touchdown.
I'll tell you why after you give all the numbers.
Okay. He's not allowed a single touchdown. He has the lowest catch rate allowed. 41.3%.
Love that.
Which I think is the number one stat. And he has the highest tight window throw forced in the NFL. And that is one of those new age stats that I'm not really as big into, because I think that each analytics site could look at it more differently. But the other two, I really put a big thing on. Not a single touchdown allowed, lowest catch rate allowed, 41.3% is wild to me. So tell me why you think he wouldn't be a first team, because there's two of them.
Right.
So why wouldn't he be one of the first two?
I feel like the reason why he did not win Rookie of the Year last year was the interceptions. Like, I really think that's why.
But they're not throwing at him.
No, I know. I think there are people. Who does the voting?
The players vote.
Okay.
The players vote, media vote, coaches vote.
I think there's some people that look at the stat sheet at the end of the year, right? And they go, you only have one interception. That might be why he doesn't win. That may be why he's not a first-team All-Pro. He should be, for what you said, and I agree with you.
Like, to me, that's bigger. Like, they're just not.
Because they refuse to throw his way.
And they just refuse to throw his way. But it's very much like in Denver, where we see one of the greatest corners. Patrick Surtain says all the time where he gets bored in games.
Yeah, Kurt Warner told us that he spoke with Patrick Surtain, and he's like,
he's getting very frustrated because he doesn't feel like he's engaged in games. Right. Because nobody throws his way. And Quinyon Mitchell is becoming that type of thing because right now they just don't throw his way.
Yeah, he's just that
They're
good.
afraid. They're afraid to throw his way. Is there any better respect that all this season we talk about all these things around the Eagles, and because of the fact that people are afraid to challenge him, we don't talk about the greatness of a guy who is just
locked down.
Having an all-time great
One
season.
side of the field is locked down.
He is a definition
Every
of a
week.
lockdown corner.
He is tremendous.
And in the days of Eric Allen, who was, and you guys, I wish you had gotten to see. I wish you had gotten to see Eric Allen, because Eric Allen was constantly challenged.
Yeah.
It was a different NFL. It was a different NFL that they just didn't. Back in the day, I really believe it was almost when Deion broke onto the scene that people just started to say, we're not going to throw towards Deion because of things happening. They were constantly challenging Eric Allen, and then Eric Allen was constantly just pulling teams' pants down.
Yeah.
And making them look stupid for doing it.
I hear you. All right, coming up next.
What's Connor's order quick?
It's cold outside. Get yourself a nice little medium hot chocolate.
There you go.
You don't have to remember the size.
No, you do. Yes, you do. He wants medium.
I don't want large.
You're already
small.
You're already having the mini donuts. Oh, there you go. See?
All right, coming up next, I'll give my order so that you can text in all three. First person to do it will win the $50 gift card to Wawa. Happy Wawa Days. We'll also be joined by Jeremy Fowler, who had a very interesting report of what the Eagles could do come April. Also, remember, he was the first person that told us it did sound like 2023, according to a player in the locker room. That was after the Giants loss. What is he hearing now? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Keeping faith in Jalen and AJ. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles, well, they're trying to keep faith in their ability to win football games. They've dropped 3 straight, and Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday. He also talked about keeping the faith in Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown after what he called were uncharacteristic performances in Monday Night Football.
Obviously uncharacteristic of AJ to have drops, just like we talked about with Jalen, uncharacteristic interceptions as well, for both parties. So we'll go through that today. We'll have our conversations in here about it.
Unfortunately, losing games has not been uncharacteristic for the Eagles lately, so we'll see if they can get back on track against the Las Vegas Raiders Sunday at 1 p.m. Unfortunately, neither Jalen Carter or Lane Johnson were back at practice yesterday, even though it was a walkthrough, so the injury report was an estimation. We'll keep an eye on that. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Flyers are back on the ice tonight, so they have their own Vegas matchup going on. Puck drop against the Golden Knights is at 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, and you can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. 6 Sixers have another night off before they get back into action tomorrow night. We're going to talk to Jeremy Fowler coming up next for the national perspective on the Eagles issues. This update's brought to you by Supersure. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get Supersure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but Supersure coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
what you asked for is dessert.
Yeah, but then you're washing it down.
First person to text it in, it's 610-632-0975. In order, what John ordered, Connor ordered, then I ordered.
Connor, you're shaking your head too,
We'll win the $50 gift card to Wawa.
That's
all right.
filthy.
Joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. From ESPN, our man Jeremy Fowler joins us. Jeremy, good morning. Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, Jeremy?
I was mesmerized by the Wawa reading. It makes me want to go to Wawa.
Yeah.
Stuff. That was good.
It's always a good day to go to Wawa, especially during the holidays. Wawa happy holidays, Johnny.
I said yesterday, Jeremy, I was, just as we always follow your reporting and talking about the Eagles, we were surprisingly talking about Jalen Hurts yesterday. And it was the idea of Jalen Hurts and how bad things have gotten here and whether they can be fixed. And you had some observations on it, and I wanted you to be able to share them with our audience.
Yeah, so each week my colleague Dan Graziano and I do a notebook, a buzz file, just on musings around the league. We hit on topics and hit on various notes. And, just when I'm talking to people around the league about the Eagles and about the offense situation, some of the struggles there, it came up a few times that, more just predictions from people, whether it's from teams or industry sources or, hey, there could be a situation where, or at least I predicted the Eagles will end up drafting a quarterback somewhere. Maybe they do what they did with the Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts handoff years ago where they draft somebody in the second round, like day 2. That would be there's a blueprint for that Howie Roseman has shown that could pay off again. Doesn't mean that Jalen Hurts would be replaced. Maybe he wouldn't be replaced at all, that it just, in that scenario, you'd get somebody else in there that you can groom as a potential starter down the road, and Jalen would obviously be the starter in 2026 to begin the year. So just a notion, just sort of taking some predictions from some people. It's like they're doing the same thing with A.J. Brown. Like, did they trade Brown this offseason just because of all the back and forth this year and just, all the commotion? Now it's interesting. The story with the Eagles offense really does center around Hurts. It's like, how is he going to redirect this end of season in his own story, as opposed to A.J. Brown's now getting the ball, right, and they're still losing. So to me, Hurts is the story.
Now, you mentioned that they could draft a quarterback in the second round, day 2, just to back up Hurts, but to groom as well. When this happened the last time, Carson Wentz didn't handle it very well. Do you know, based off of who you've spoken to, if Jalen Hurts would have a similar reaction to the way Wentz had it when they drafted Jalen Hurts?
I really don't. I mean, he's a personality who's known to, keep to himself a little bit. He's pretty quiet. He's not the kind of rah-rah, maybe typical quarterback you see. He's just kind of got that steely personality. So he probably would be really hard to read one way or the other in that regard. But we know about his toughness. We know about his competitiveness, his intangibles. I think he would take that the right way and take it as a challenge. Now, we're talking way far down the road. There's no evidence that they're going to do this. This wasn't really a splash report. It was just something that, there was some music. I mean, enough people brought it up that they think it could happen that I wanted to at least mention it. But, doesn't mean anything's going to shake out in that regard. We'll see. But it feels like a time where they could do it, take a shot. Unless they really like Tanner McKee. I mean, I've heard good things about him. He had a good preseason. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen a lot of action or really hard evidence that he could do it. So, but it seems like he is well liked behind the scenes from all that I've heard and indicated.
And isn't Tanner McKee, though, next year, they have to make a decision on him anyway, as he'll be in the final year of his contract. So wouldn't they probably be drafting a quarterback anyway? Or maybe thinking of flipping McKee, which has been something that they maybe have done in the past?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it just feels like a good time to reset that position a little bit. I mean, Jalen's in year 6 now?
Yeah, it's
and last year wasn't a consideration because they're coming off a Super Bowl, and clearly they have their guy. I do go back to, and part of the reason why I do this, but I do these rankings in the summer. I rank the top 10 players at each position, but it's through scouts and execs and coaches, and they all, I compile rankings from them, so it's like a composite ranking. And with Jalen, he was number 9, and at the time that was even kind of controversial. Now you wouldn't put him at number 9. Things change a lot. So my point is, back in April, they clearly had a guy, but they had a guy with some questions that at least people in the league see as like a quarterback that's a little dependent. You know, in this case, he's kind of dependent on a good running game. And when that hasn't been there this year, some things have probably gotten exposed a little bit. And so I think now it's a different time. Plus, like you said, McKee is going into his final year. Like, they're going to need reinforcements regardless. It's never a bad time to draft a quarterback, even day two. Like, you see teams like the Packers have done that in the past. Just take one and develop them and see what happens. It's the most important position.
You mentioned how people around the league view Jalen Hurts. So I'll ask you, are there people that are really not that shocked by his play this season? Because we all knew going into it that the plan was to stop Saquon. If you were a defensive coordinator, your first order of business was, let's stop number 26, and then we'll take care of the rest. So are there people around the league not that surprised?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, there are people that are not surprised, I would say. I can't speak for the whole building, but I think there are probably people there that are not all that surprised. Because the formula last year was you're getting 40-yard runs at least once a game from Saquon, you know, or at least a big gain, right, an explosive run. They just had it rolling. They were on a heater last year, you know, but the passing game was ranked really low. So it's not that there's some surprise because Jalen Hurts is playing that poorly. I think in some ways he's probably playing better, but just because they're having to rely on the passing game a little more and try to get a little more creative where they can. It's just, you know, talking to people around the league, they would say his game has limitations. You know, throwing over the middle of the field is one, and if you don't have a steady running game, it's just hard. You know, it's hard to rely on that. He's dependent on having those things around him. You know, you saw it at the end of the first half of the Chargers game, where it wasn't like a explosive drive, but it was a longer drive with several runs from Saquon where he was getting, you know, 9 or 5 or 11. And then you saw Jalen have back-to-back 11-yard passes or on different downs, but he, you know, one was off play action. And it looked like the drive was supposed to look for them. And they ended up having a penalty, and I think they kicked the field goal. But, like, the glimpses are there of what they kind of need to be. And then Hurts, like, he throws a great go ball, you know, down the sideline. You saw A.J. Brown late in the game. Like, he can do that. That's perfect to complement a really good running game. So when you don't have that, I think the story of the Eagles season is just, you know, the line is not, it's a shell of what it was. You know, it just is. They're beat up. You know, they lost pieces. Obviously, Lane Johnson's been out. You know, you could argue Mailata hasn't been quite as good. You know, Tyler Steen is more of a pass protector. He's probably better in that realm than he is as like a mauler like Mekhi Becton was. There's just a lot of different pieces. You know, Landon Dickerson's been beat up. Cam Jurgens has been beat up. It's just been a hard year for their line. And that's showing not just with Jalen Hurts, but with everything.
ESPN's Jeremy Fowler with us here on Kincade Salciunas. So you mentioned that there might be even some people inside NovaCare that aren't that surprised by how it's looked. So do you believe, based off of your reporting, who you've talked to either with the Eagles or around the NFL, that sometimes the Eagles may go to bed at night thinking, what if we had somebody else? Despite them going to 2 Super Bowls, winning one last year, I do believe it's human to think, what if that guy played here? Or what if that guy was the quarterback here? Do you think that's crept into their minds at any point?
I can't say that. I mean, like, to your point, it is human nature to wonder that. Or even, you know, I've wondered, like, when I was ranking quarterbacks, you know, it was kind of close between Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield. And I did think to myself, would the Eagles rather have Mayfield in their offense or like a Jared Goff in their offense than Jalen Hurts? I would probably say yes. Some would disagree, you know, because of Hurts' running ability and some of the other things he can do. And by the way, the design runs haven't been what they were last year either for Hurts. Like, for whatever reason, he's effective in that role. It just hasn't been cooking like it was a year ago with that. So that does affect the pass game and everything else. So I don't know that the Eagles look at it that way. I can't speak for them in that regard, but I think, you know, this is a smart team with a lot of good people in the organization. They map things out over long periods of time. You know, they certainly know what their quarterback can and can't do and what might be available down the road or what is impossible to get down the road. You know, you're only as good as your options. So Jalen Hurts has been their best option for a long while now.
You know, Jeremy, I'd find a common denominator to Jalen Hurts' 2 sort of disastrous seasons, as the media might sort of portray it locally here, being Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo. That they, you know, when he's had competent offensive coordinators, whether it be at Alabama, whether it be at Oklahoma, or whether it be in Philadelphia, he seems to thrive and find a way to be efficient based on his skill set. When he has novice offensive coordinators, Nick Sirianni and the novice offensive coordinator don't seem to be able to put him in a position to succeed.
Yeah, but I understand that. My only caveat, and it's when I talk to coaches, and maybe coaches like to defend other coaches, but they say, watch the Eagles. It's not the play calling. And their line is just not as good, so they can't get the runs, which shows some of Jalen's limitations. It accentuates them, I would say. So that really, to me, is the core issue beyond play calling, you know? So, like, if you're egging Kevin Petullo's house, it's like, okay, great, but I don't think he's the core problem. I really don't. Now, Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen, two guys that had success with Jalen and went on to be head coaches, those guys are really skilled play callers. So certainly it's possible that those guys were just in an elite category, you know. But when I watch the Eagles, I don't see play calling issues. A lot of people around the league don't really either. I mean, you could nitpick a little bit, and I'm sure maybe they missed some moments. That loss to Dallas was rough in the second half, you know. But I think they're also missing a lot of key blocks and penalties. Like, I think there are things happening every play where they'd be close normally, and they're just not pulling it off. Like just the overall cohesion hasn't been there from a just clean football standpoint.
Last thing for you, Jeremy. We appreciate your time as always. The last time we had you on, it was actually leading up to the NFL trade deadline, which was the bye week for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's when you told us that you spoke to a player that did say there are some feelings of 2023 in the locker room. We just have to try to squash that quickly. That was after they lost back-to-back weeks. Yeah. One to the Broncos where they blew the fourth quarter lead, and then the horrible Thursday night game against the Giants. Since then, they win two. They go to the bye week. They win two tough games, Lions, Packers. But then we know what's happened the last 3 weeks. Have you heard more rumblings about the 2023 feeling inside the locker room since the last time we spoke to you?
Maybe a little. I haven't heard anything about that comparison. The differences in those seasons was, there was some pretty clear tension between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. I don't think that's there this time. I can't speak exactly on that. What I'm saying is I haven't sensed that there's, a beef there between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And, Kevin Petullo's in an interesting position because, he's been with Nick for years. And I think before, he was a pass game coordinator, but he was always sort of a buffer for, like, say, Nick and Jalen or Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore. So now it's pretty much just Kevin. And then they have some new pieces on the staff. But I think all that's probably been a little bit of an adjustment. But Nick and Kevin have a good relationship. I don't think there's any issue with, like, Nick going rogue and taking the whole offense over. You know what I mean? Like, I think, unless that's changed this week, but that's my sense. I think it was a little different. 23 was a little more turbulent in that regard. This year, they're just not very good. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Offensively, it's just not what they want to be. I mean, back in 23, they were a top 10 offense, I believe.
Yep.
And there was still a lot of that turmoil. I think it was because things were spinning fast, and it wasn't quite like it looked the year before. Now they're just trying to adjust. It's different. It's a struggle, but it's slightly different. I don't think it's the same. But I go back to the story kind of being the quarterback, who, the passing game wasn't great last year either. It's just they ran the ball really well. So now it's sort of all on him a little bit with hopes of Saquon getting some breakout runs like he did Monday night. And you go from there. Can Hurts, with his back against the wall, kind of redirect this thing for himself and the team?
Jeremy, we appreciate the time, man. Great stuff as always. Keep up the great work on
Thanks,
ESPN.
Jeremy. Appreciate it, buddy.
Talk to you again soon, hopefully after a long playoff run for the Eagles. We appreciate it.
Hey, sounds good, guys. Appreciate you having me.
There he is, Jeremy Fowler on the Comcast Business Hotline.
Great dude.
Coming up next, let's react to the Jalen Hurts stuff.
That's a lot.
There was a lot. Not just about drafting a potential backup, but how a lot of this is falling on the quarterback. And notice he says coaches sometimes stick up for their own coaches.
There's no way that it's a...
But the Hurt stuff is coming from somewhere.
It's coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house.
That was a great movie. It's Kincade Salciunas. We'll react to that next here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Mark.
Yes, Middays with Marks comes your way at 10 o'clock. Would Johnny Marks get a special drop-off from Nifty 50s, John? I don't know. You got to turn your mic on first, Mr. Milkshake.
I don't think he will.
The people from Nifty 50s. So we're going to be on our sister station next to you around 10:30 today because they're doing their radiothon for the St. Jude's Hospital.
Candy Winters and her whole crew is over there.
Yeah, what they do every single year is absolutely
amazing.
Beautiful, and I really appreciate what they do during the holiday season.
Nifty 50s
And there was
is
a
awesome.
food drop for them. And last time Nifty 50s came here, they did not bring John's Milkshake, and they remembered. That's awesome.
They're wonderful people at Nifty 50s. And they do a lot of stuff, too, for cancer charities and things like that. They're very involved in their community. And I do not do – are you shocked? I'm regimented John only does vanilla milk.
Yeah, of course. I'm not surprised.
Only does vanilla milk.
Not surprised whatsoever.
But the Nifty 50s folks are awesome. And don't be too jealous.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. It's cool. That's
Don't
nice.
be too jealous.
All right, so Jeremy Fowler was on with us.
I'm closer to death than you. You have plenty more years to get your milkshakes.
Jeremy Fowler was on with us this past segment. And, look,
he's awesome.
He made it very clear that there's, like, a Jalen Hurts issue going on.
You know what's great?
Not an issue that can't be solved, but there's a Jalen Hurts issue.
It is great when guys who report on the NFL just literally can still just come with an opinion, tell you that they have an opinion on things.
Yeah.
He does not hold back. Jeremy, among all. Adam on Wednesday with us yesterday.
They were not
He had his
afraid.
opinions. It seems like there's a floodgate now.
Well, Schefter's mentioning fallout, but he didn't say who or what position could be player or coach. Jeremy Fowler's talking about Jalen Hurts. Here was Fowler talking about how coaches are always out to protect each other.
When I talk to coaches, and maybe coaches like to defend other coaches, but they say, watch the Eagles. It's not the play calling. And their line is just not as good, so they can't get the runs, which shows some of Jalen's limitations. It accentuates them, I would say. So that really, to me, is the core issue beyond play calling. Like, if you're egging Kevin Patullo's house, it's like, okay, great, but I don't think he's the core problem. I really don't. Now, Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen, two guys that had success with Jalen and went on to be head coaches, those guys are really skilled play callers. So certainly it's possible that those guys were just in an elite category. You know, when I watch the Eagles, I don't see play calling issues. A lot of people around the league don't really either. I mean, you could nitpick a little bit, and I'm sure maybe they missed a moment. You know, that loss to Dallas was rough in the second half. But I think they're also missing a lot of key blocks and penalties. Like, I think there are things happening every play where they'd be close normally, and they're just not pulling it off. Like just the overall cohesion hasn't been there from a just clean football standpoint.
This is why this conversation is so fascinating to me, because
I can't believe we're having it.
I've said it. I'm sorry to bring it up again. The Jalen Hurts, I don't think, can carry a football team throughout an entire season where he's got to be the guy that wins the football games. Last year, you got to the playoffs on the back of Saquon Barkley, who was having a historic season last year, and the offensive line was tremendous. When they turned to Jalen in the Super Bowl, he had a hell of a game, and they won the Super Bowl, and that you can never take away from him. But I don't think over the course of an entire season, Jalen Hurts can be like the reason why you won the division, got a home playoff game, and made a run through the playoffs.
His passing in the NFC title game was pretty awesome, too.
He was,
that fourth down pass
spectacular.
to A.J. Brown was
But we got to stop rewriting history. They went away from him throwing the football because it wasn't great, and the ground game was that good. Now, I will also say one thing changed, or two things changed for the Eagles. A new right guard and a new play caller. You hear Jeremy Fowler say, Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen are really, really good, and maybe they were able to get more out of Jalen Hurts. I feel like that could be a lot of players with coaches, where you don't have the right coach and you're not getting enough out of the player. Both can be true. Jalen Hurts can be a problem, but so can Kevin Patullo. Like, I'm not going to all of a sudden absolve Kevin Patullo because people around the league are saying it's not a play calling problem.
Okay, what has Jalen Hurts done any year that Jalen Hurts has a competent offensive coordinator?
Super Bowl appearance, MVP, runner-up, Super Bowl victory.
College football playoffs, SEC championships, things like that. The 2 years that he has two creams, one sugar in Brian Johnson, who never should have had that job, and Kevin Patullo. Oh, Jalen Hurts just can't do this. He can't do that.
Right.
Look, Jalen Hurts has limitations in years that he has been good.
Yes. And I
Jalen
point
Hurts
those
has
out.
limitations. But he's never looking like that. There's no way you can ignore the fact that incompetent coaching or inadequate coaching is not a part of it. I'm telling you.
It really is. It's amazing.
And coaches being whispered down the lane against it, it's incredible.
It goes back to something Ray Dunn said like a month ago, and I credit Ray Dunn, that you're on one side or the other, and you've been on that side. Nobody has flipped saying, you know what, it is Jalen Hurts' fault, or you know what, it is Kevin Patullo's fault. You may throw blame toward an individual, but the majority of the blame has been what you've been saying all season long. And that's kind of what it is, because I hear Jeremy Fowler point to maybe the finger being at Jalen Hurts, but he also says with better coordinators, he's played better. So what is it?
I mean, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that fact.
Which may be why Colin Cowherd says Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts both need the best situation possible in order to succeed.
By the way, just one thing I want to throw in here. What's better, 10 minutes or 8 minutes? I can think of something that's better if it's 10 minutes.
Depends of what.
10 minutes.
When it comes to the NFL draft, 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Yeah.
I don't need to wait longer when they already know who they're picking.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Oh, what? They shortened the draft time?
8 minutes. First round is 8 minutes now.
I think the first overall pick should be 5 seconds. You know who you're drafting.
Well, they want to do all the hype and all that, but 8 minutes?
First overall pick
That's
should,
really
should
good.
be 5 seconds.
Look, taking 2 minutes off of every pick.
Yeah, I'm in.
32 teams? That's fantastic. They're taking an hour
That's like
off.
64 minutes.
They're taking an hour off the draft. The draft has been ending at 11:43 p.m. Now it's going to end before the 11 o'clock news.
I stand by. I think the first overall pick, that should be the beginning of the draft. Like, we know.
Especially if the pick
Welcome
is
to
already,
the draft coverage. Cam Ward selected by the Titans.
Hey, here's Cam Ward, and here's the whole thing.
Yeah, like, everybody knows.
That's
like,
it.
Did we really need to wait 10 minutes for Cooper Flagg to get drafted?
No.
Well, it was the Mavericks.
Coming up next, we played you some audio from Nick Sirianni earlier today, where he mentioned that they still need to try to find out what they need to be. Was last Monday a tell that they want to do things that they can't? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles are trying to solve some issues. I'm Connor Thomas, and that might be understating it as the team is currently in a 3-game losing streak. Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday, and he talked about some positives from the matchup with the Chargers on Monday night.
Never want the turnovers, but he did some really good things. I think there was a lot of good things on offense. We were able to move the football against a really good defense. Now, we didn't finish drives, and we turned the ball over, but there was a lot to be encouraged by.
And some people in the national media who have broken down the game have agreed with Nick Sirianni's estimation that the Eagles did do more positive on offense play calling wise. Unfortunately, it did not result in a victory. We'll see if they can finally find one against the Las Vegas Raiders at home on Sunday. They may have to do so without Jalen Carter and Lane Johnson again. Neither returned to practice yesterday, even though it was a walkthrough and the estimation injury report was all that we got. Eagles coordinators will meet with the media today for their latest thoughts on what the team needs to fix. Flyers are back on the ice tonight. They'll play the Golden Knights 7 p.m. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live right here on the Fanatic. Sixers have the night off again. They're going to be back in action after a long layoff tomorrow night. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose our friends over at Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Middays.com.
The final hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
Question. At what age do you realize that you use too much toilet paper?
What?
I had used the restroom and the toilet's clogged. At what age do you realize that you got to flush at one point if it's one of
the courtesy flush?
If it's one of those situations.
Well, people around this building do not understand courtesy in a bathroom.
It's not even I don't care if there's anybody in there. It's just you're clogging the toilet, and now you're not going to clean it, and poor Miss Marie is going to have to do it.
It's terrible.
And I just at what age do you realize, all right, maybe I should flush one time because it's not done yet?
I feel like you should learn that lesson a long, long time before you start working in an office.
That's what I'm saying. How does that still happen at somebody who is an adult?
Some people never learn.
There are some things that's not, you don't read that in a book. That's a street smart thing. You know when you've used enough toilet paper that you probably should flush it one time. What's wrong with people, man?
I don't understand.
And then they run away. It's like dine and dash. Wipe and dash. It's ridiculous.
People are terrible.
All right.
You're just learning this? People are terrible.
Did the Eagles try to run an offense that they actually want to run on Monday? And it showed Jalen Hurts' limitations. That's what we've gained from a lot of people that we've
It certainly seems that way. That's the message that we're sort of getting from a lot of different directions.
And then Nick Sirianni will be the first person to tell you, I don't want to put players in positions that I don't think that they would succeed in. Is he talking about the quarterback specifically? That was Sirianni 2 weeks ago before the Chargers game. I don't want to put players in positions where they won't succeed, which I understand. You're not going to have a guy that can't shoot a three-pointer out at the top of the key, right? You're gonna put guys in the right positions possible.
You don't know basketball.
But I just wonder, are they trying? Did they try to tell us something on Monday?
There's one thing that I've learned, and from years of being a sideline reporter on television, doing things like that, being a reporter in my life part-time, and then doing this job. Jalen Hurts has no friends in the media. He has no friends.
Doesn't seem like it.
He has no allies in the media. At the first chance that people have to do to start whispering against Jalen, the media members are lapping it up
hold on a second.
Delivering the message.
Is it friends in the media or friends in the locker room?
No. Well, no, I think it's
because
these
there's
are
whisper.
No, these are coaches.
Oh, yeah.
These are coaches. Coaches are sharing this game plan stuff. Coaches are sharing this stuff.
Yeah, they're
so
whispering.
To me, he has no friends. He has no friends in the media that are saying "Hey, well, we're just taking what they're free to share." He doesn't have a lot of friends.
Then again, Adam Schefter did tell us literally last week, when in doubt, write about the quarterback.
Yep. Well, no, it is the truth.
I mean, that's...
Or talk about the quarterback.
Or talk about the quarterback.
In this town, that's always been the case.
All right, we'll check our text line coming up in a little bit. It's a Emotional Intelligence Thursday. We're trying to figure out who you are as a person. What means more to you, or what weighs more on your mind? 2 Super Bowl appearances or 2 potential collapses? If the Eagles beat the Raiders on Sunday, will you say, like me, that it was just the Raiders? And also, have you reached the point where you're starting to say, it's really hard to repeat? Because I'm starting to see a lot of that on social media. You can text in or call in 610-632-0975. Well, it's hard.
Well, it's hard, but it's something that we see.
But we're now saying this is why they're not doing it. All right, joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline every day in Business Big Day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. He hit last week, Johnny. He did not have to give free picks for the remainder of the season on that incredible Thursday night game between the Cowboys and Lions. Thank you, Detroit, for helping out the Eagles a little bit. Let's see if we can get another winner tonight. He is Mr. Thursday night, and we have another divisional matchup tonight between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. From GBIWins.com, call that free record hotline, 1-800-885-2525. Our man Michael Westwood joins us. Michael, good morning.
Andrew and Johnny, what's happening? I don't know if I'm in a worse situation than you guys are. I mean, you guys are having a rough outing with obviously the Birds. But, I mean, what is up? What is up with the New York Met organization getting rid of Alonso and Diaz? I'm absolutely devastated.
They didn't want to go past 3 years with Alonso. They're acting like he's 35 years old.
He's a great hit. I mean, the guy's a good guy. I know him very, very well. And the New York Mets organization did not do the right thing by him. I'm telling you right now. So,
we're very happy. We're very happy that they're showing some fiscal sanity. And
he's off to Baltimore now for bigger and better things, meaning $155 million.
There you go.
That sounds nice.
Good for him.
Congratulations. So anyway, let's talk about tonight, guys. Tonight is my NFC South game of the year. And, guys, I don't just say game of the year just to say it. This is tremendous information. I play one of these information games every football season. The Falcons are playing the Buccaneers. I'm flying out of JFK this afternoon at noon Eastern time, heading into Tampa Bay with 3 of my largest clients to the Raymond James Stadium to watch this game. And, guys, I've got huge information, huge intel on this Falcon Buccaneer matchup, and it could be yours right now, absolutely free. I want all of your listeners to understand, stop playing games on your own, okay? You're not going to make money betting on your own, all right? I have a way of making money for my clients. I've been doing it 42 years. I know how to beat the bookmakers on any given game day against the point spread. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm giving out a free winner. And guys, I'm giving a guarantee also on the rest of the month. If I do not win this Falcons-Buccaneer battle tonight, I will give the whole month for free. That's how guaranteed I am.
Okay, you're getting really cocky, my man. I mean, but it's working.
It's not even cocky,
it's working, though. I like it. It's working.
Backed it up last week.
I'm getting so many calls and so many people signing up with us from the Philadelphia area because we do nothing but win. Yes, we lose every so often, but my winning's abundant. So all you have to do right now, your listeners, is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, that's 1-800-885-2525. You'll be connected to my free recorded hotline. As always, you're going to get my winner tonight, and if you like what you see, give us a call tomorrow, and maybe you'll sign up with us.
Now, you gave the guarantee, or you would have given the rest of the season free, and you hit. Not only did you hit on that game, you went 9-2 last week altogether. So not only can people call 1-800-885-2525 for tonight's game, after you win tonight, you'll also have picks to give out over the weekend. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's a huge weekend. Your bowl games start on Saturday. There are 2 games. Then you have the NFL on Sunday. And then there are bowl games every single day from now until somewhere around January 7th, 8th, or 9th, whatever it might be. So, again, tonight is incredible. We're keying on tonight's game, okay? And I have information on it. Stop betting on your own. Get my free information. Falcons, Buccaneers. It's free. It's on my free recorded comp line. I want you to try me out tonight. Again, the number's 1-800-885-2525. Again, 1-800-885-2525. Get the winner on my recorded hotline.
You're the man, Mike. We appreciate the time as always. Got to check out the website, too, gbiwins.com. You've been doing it for over 40 years, and we expect more of the same tonight. Michael, we appreciate the time as always, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, buddy.
You got it, guys. Thank you. Have a good day.
There he is, Michael Westwood on the Comcast Business Hotline. All right,
he's just stepping up to it. He's leaning into it, and
he's a very confident man.
It's right there. Make the call.
All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line and our calls. Also, the Eagles' offense is problemo numero uno.
I didn't know you took Spanish.
Thank you. Jeffrey Lurie told Mike Silver that he believes in the defense and that they have a great special teams. Is that true? John Kincade will tell you next.
No!
It is Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic.
Whether you're
It is 9:41 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, the Fanatic. So tomorrow, Football Friday, before the Eagles take on the Raiders, we're going to give away 2 pairs of the passes for the True Fan Travel tailgate with Philly sports trips because, I want to get people all fired up for on a Friday because the Eagles should beat the crap out of the Raiders. If they don't, it should be a fun show Monday. And we'll also have one more $50 gift card to give away for Wawa. Happy Wawa Days. Robert in Phoenixville was today's winner. So congratulations to Robert.
Oh, there's a really good Wawa in Phoenixville.
There you go. So you can go right there.
There's a really good Wawa in every city.
Yeah,
No, okay, do you agree with me that Wawas have different personalities?
Oh,
Yes.
of course they do.
And Wawa, there was a Wawa closest to me in Broomall that had its own personality because it's got just one of those, very much like the one we have down here in Belmont, one of the craziest parking lots in history.
So I have a take.
Okay.
Discussed this with my wife not long ago. Okay. I have 2 Wawas equal distance from my house.
Okay.
One's the Super Wawa.
So it's got gas.
And one's the regular Wawa.
Okay.
If I am going, let's say, like we got nothing for dinner.
Right.
I would rather go to the gas-free Wawa.
Why?
Because I feel like there's a little bit more art to the food because that's all they have. Whereas
you have theories.
Yes, because the Super Wawa, they got a million things going on, still tremendous. But I feel like the regular Wawa, the small Wawa that stands on its own, like that's what you're coming for. You're not going there for gas.
Do you name your Wawa?
No.
What?
Do you have names for Wawas?
No.
Like,
what do you call one Precious? Like what?
No, we have there's the skate park Wawa near me.
Oh, well.
There's the Wawa next to the skate park. So I will say, I'm going to the skate park Wawa, and then I'm going to get gas, or whatever it is.
Yeah, you define. I would say that more defining the Wawa.
No, I say the Wawa on, and I say
like
what
to me,
road.
Belmont. Well, I have Belmont Wawa.
Yeah, I got you.
I have Malvern Wawa. I've got skate park Wawa.
Sure.
And then I've got the Tajma Wawa, in which I learned from Coach back in the day, which is the one in Westchester, because right as you're going into Westchester, because it has entrances on both sides of the road. You can enter if you're coming or going.
Yeah.
You do it. It's great. Good job, Wawa.
See, Pat made a mistake. He said, what do you mean a million things going on? You pump your own gas.
It's awesome.
Oh, buddy.
I'm in Jersey.
Have you ever heard of New Jersey?
You got to sit there and have somebody,
totally
have a
different.
grown man pump your gas.
And I don't like it. I hate the rule. I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it. I hate it. I can do it myself quick. I'm happy that people have jobs, but I could do it quicker myself.
By the way, our driveways are, it's snowing.
All right. How about that?
So, and the driveways have snow on them.
All right. How about that?
Right now. So, if you didn't know it, there's snow. And there's going to be snow on Sunday for the Eagles. We're projected right now 2 inches of snow overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, probably around 10 or 11 a.m., around 2 inches of snow for Philadelphia.
Damn, that's a lot.
That's fun. That's fun. A little snow out there for the tailgate on Sunday. It'd be great.
Let me ask something, John, real quick. Because I want to get a call here. Seth wants to talk about our initial topic today, where we stare into our soul. What means more, 2 appearances or 2 collapses, or what weighs more on you? Do you think Connor and I sound alike?
A little. I really do. A little. So not a lot, but a little. Your voice is much higher than Connor's.
So 215 J Philly just gave you credit for the Precious line.
Thank you.
That was me.
Are you sure?
But last week, somebody texted me about something. I forget. It was like a sports topic, and basically said, wow, I can't believe you said something so stupid. No,
and it was Connor that said it?
But I was like, that wasn't me. That was Connor. Now,
I think you guys do sound a little bit alike.
I've had this with Jamie. Jamie and I, my dad literally used to confuse me and the bro.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. He would text me like.
See, I don't get that at all.
He said we sound just alike.
See, the thing is, though, when you're animated, you're much higher tone than Connor.
Sure.
Than Connor. Connor's pitch isn't your pitch.
Okay.
Your pitch when you're animated. When you're just talking, you guys do have a...
I've gotten that we sound a lot alike.
I have heard that as well.
When you're just conversing, it's harder.
But here's the thing. If you think you can tell us apart, we have a great promotion coming up.
Here it comes.
Great giveaway next week.
Next week, name that caroler.
Good.
We told you about it yesterday. We're really excited. There's a commercial airing now for it. We are going to be giving away 5 pairs of sweet tickets to a Flyers game, 5 pairs of lower-level Sixers tickets.
Which is great.
And then there's a grand prize. Somebody at the end of the week will not only win either the pair of Flyers tickets or the pair of Sixers tickets, you'll also get the $100 gift card to the Harvest Wine Bar and Grill.
That sounds fun.
Every day next week, twice a day, 7:30, 8:30, every day, you will hear somebody from the Fanatic singing a Christmas carol, and you have to name that caroler. All right, tell us about Jake Elliott real quick.
Okay, look at this. First of all, what did Jeff Lurie say?
So Jeff Lurie spoke with Mike Silver and was asked about the 2023 whispers.
And he said that...
He said, no, I don't feel that at all.
Great
he
defense.
Said, our defense is great. He mentioned that he believes the offense will turn things around. But what he said in the middle was we also have great special teams.
Really?
Punter, they do.
Punter, we do.
Braden Mann's tremendous.
Yeah, Braden Mann does a great job. We have the worst kicker in the NFL. 32 teams. We have the worst. We have the man who is dead last in field goals 50 yards or more. Dead last.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
He's terrible.
In an era where those kicks are a little bit more easily
And
made.
I was arguing with you about this last year, one Connor Thomas, that this was a problem last year.
And Connor said, come playoff time.
It doesn't matter.
And come playoff time.
Because you've lost 2 games because of them.
Oh, okay, but you can't say last year when they won the Super Bowl when I was right.
Because you've lost. No, because you've lost 2 games because of them.
I'm not disagreeing with you this year.
And you can't be losing games because of your kicker. And you've lost 2 games this year because of your kicker. And he's also 37th out of 42 in field goal percentage made. He is not just bad, he's terrible. And I do not understand why Jake Elliott is here. What are they waiting for?
He's here because for a long time he was a really important for a long time he was a really important part of helping this team win football games. And in the postseason, he's been completely lights out.
He's cost you 2 games.
I'm not debating that.
Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles would be 10-3. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles would be definitively. He makes 2 kicks, they're 10-3. It would be. They would be 10-3. They would be the number 1 seed. And all conversations about this team would be completely different. They have lost games. They are losing games because of Jake Elliott. And all they got to do is go to any one of a number of kickers who, by the way, of the teams in Division I football, okay? Teams in just Division I football this year, there were, of the teams that are out there, the kickers that could make 50-plus yard field goals at a better percentage than Jake Elliott does right now, you're talking 78% of them. We're talking jabroni schools. He's killing them.
Different football.
But they're going to keep him around? Yeah, it's a better football for Jake Elliott. It's an easier football for Jake Elliott to kick. And Jake Elliott is killing this team. And they're going to keep him around for freaking nostalgia? They're keeping him around for something that he did before? Look, Jake Elliott, I congratulate you for all you did here. It's awesome. But he's killing this team. And if Jake Elliott had done his job, if he'd done just his normal job that NFL kickers are doing, this team right now would be 10-3. And they're just saying.
I could also make the case, though, if the Cardi for the Rams doesn't kick a line drive kick, that the Eagles lose that game.
No, just take what the Eagles can do as the Eagles can do as far as. No. Just what the Eagles could do themselves.
Sure.
Jake Elliott just kicking the ball, which he can't do anymore. He can't kick 50-yard field goals. It's terrible. And they won't replace him because of nostalgia?
Maybe.
That's stupid.
Or how much he's getting paid. Let's go to Seth in Philly. What up, Seth?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking
What's
my
up, buddy?
call.
What's up, man?
I normally text in, but I had to call in on this one.
I love that. Thanks, man.
We had a whole conversation at work. I work overnight, so I get to hear you guys start to finish. I love when you guys come on and lets me know my days.
You're the best, Seth.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you.
Here's how it would weigh on me. 2 collapses would weigh heavier, and I'll explain why briefly. Think of Kobe Bryant. Remember when Kobe Bryant was asked, if Shaq would have put a little bit more effort into his health or whatever. He said, how many rings do you think you guys would have won? He said, we would have won 10 in a row. And that's kind of how I feel now. It's like we have the pieces now. We have the talent now to win back-to-back, 3 in a row if we really, try hard enough. And if we were to go through this 10 years from now with 2 collapses and just the 1 ring, or the 2 appearances, 1 ring, that would kill the joy every time I think about it.
So, let's say 10 years from now, Seth, are you going to look back and say more meat left on the bone, or are you going to be like, you know what, we had it good?
Too much meat. That's what they said the same thing about the Phillies, right? Like, don't be satisfied, be happy with the great season. No, you left too much there. You had it. You have it.
Ask Jimmy. Ask Jimmy Rollins about it. He'll tell you. They left too much out there.
Left way too much out there, and I'm 38 years old, so I grew up in the Midnight Green era rather than the Kelly era. So, I still want more though. Like I want more because I think we deserve more, and it's possible. It's right there. It's obtainable.
We absolutely deserve more. Seth, you're the best, man. We appreciate the call. Thanks for texting in too all the time. We do deserve more. That's why you hold them to a standard, and that's why when people go, "Why are you so upset? They're 8-5, or they were 8-4, or they were 8-3, or they were 8-2," I hold them to a higher standard.
Yeah, I mean, just don't accept and don't be like, well, we won.
The standard that we held them to, and the reason why we were upset by the offensive production, has literally led to your last 3 losses. You are on a 3-game losing streak because of the concerns that we've been pointing out since September, but people wanted to look the other way because they're the defending Super Bowl champions. Tell us about life-saving cancer research.
Hey, I can tell you that life-saving cancer research saved my life, and the American Association for Cancer Research does it. 975thefanatic.com/AACR. And FT Young Heating and Air Conditioning, they made today's donation. You can too. So go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR. Cancer research might just save your life someday.
All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. Middays with Marks, Amy Fadul, and with Johnny Marks. Today, we'll be back at it tomorrow on a Football Friday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.